T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Episode 132 of the Play It By Ear podcast on this fine May 24th, 2023. Of course, I say that date for those who are watching live. The audio will come out here in a few days, but it's like you went back in a time machine or something. Welcome. With me is the Viceroy of Shenanigans, Brady Lyman.
'Tis I.
And the Todd Father of Swole, Todd Griffin.
I like that.
No idea what that was.
Finger calisthenics.
I am the purveyor of hilarity, Aric.
You are.
Got
How
two
we doing?
people How we doing? We got two people in the room.
Ooh, that's what I forgot to do. Turn on my comments. There we go.
Better than zero.
Zero. Check in if you like those two people. Now it's down to one. We're driving people away.
Already scaring people off.
So I had two separate people this week say, and people really that I just, it was surprising to me, I guess. Not that I should say surprising because I think a lot of people listen to us. Maybe that we don't know, but people that come up to me and say, "Yeah, I listen to your podcast." And one in particular said, "I listen to your podcast, and the good part about it is there are people more off kilter than I am." I said,
"Well." That's something we probably don't often think about is that we provide a safe space for the truly those who refuse to grow up.
Yes, a safe space. That's a true millennial word there.
That's right.
Hello,
Whoa.
Allison in Ohio. Well,
From Ohio.
From Alabama with a banjo.
she went to graduation. Now, Allison, you're going to have to tell me who his last name was your maiden name. I mean, what's the relation there? Is that a nephew or?
It is gratulation season.
It is. Last day for the children in my school. I'm very pleased.
Not I. One day of finals and a day in the wilderness.
Have one more day with children's.
Yes, Allison's nephew graduated from Lynchburg Clay High School on Sunday. Little sister's son. So,
congratulations.
Good job, Mr. Hager. Off
It
to
was
life.
a little bit of an emotional day today at elementary. We had our senior parade. So, obviously, our son was among the graduating seniors walking in the parade today. So,
oh yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Held it together pretty good. His mom didn't. So he got to walk down the hall with both of his parents, being there with our students.
Awesome.
And
nice.
Yeah,
I was getting ready to ask you if you had to act like you didn't know him and stay
No,
professional mode.
What's really funny is so my students, I have a partner, and so I have two classes that I work with every day, and so they made posters. Well, one class made posters for Ethan, and the other class made cards. And so we had our posters in the hallway, and we're ready. And I told the kids, I said, you'll know it's Ethan because I'll give him a hug. I was like, that's how you'll know. And so
no,
like
the way he'll know is he looks just like you.
well,
That's how
but
they will
you
know.
got to understand that it's fourth graders, and there's they're 4 wide going down the hallway. Everybody just looks like tall, people in red jackets to
Giant.
them. Yeah. So anyway, so Ethan comes and I grab his hand and I gave him a hug, and they walk, and he was probably in the top, I don't know, or the not top, the front, like 4 or 5 lines. And so like they go all the way through, and my kids were getting ready to go back into the classroom. And my kids were like 7 or 8 kids were like, where was Ethan? And I'm like, he's the one that I hugged, just like I told you it was me. I never even saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. So it was a bit, I think it's just a bit, it's cool for them to see, but
Overwhelming.
also it's a bit overwhelming for them because it's loud and like they're playing music over the intercom and stuff like that. But I thought it was pretty cool I asked them to make posters and cards, but they ate it up and they loved it. They loved doing things like that. So,
I'm guessing someone might frown on you just hugging random.
yeah, well, I mean, this is my second class graduating. My first group of kids graduated last year, so this is my second. I have such a hard. I'm terrible with names, but there's so many of my I recognize their faces and I know that I had them in class, but I don't know their name and I don't I don't know. They've changed a little bit, but yet they're like bigger versions of what they were when I had them.
Oh,
Well, some of them change a little bit. Some of them are they look different.
oh yeah.
Totally.
yeah.
They've transformative. Like, I had a student that was a stocky Ute, short, and he ends up being like 6'4" and being pole thin and longer hair and everything. Is like, holy cow! It's like as the old expression goes, if he would have bit me in the knee, I wouldn't have known who he was.
Is that an old expression? Jinx.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard that particular
Nah.
bitten me in the knee. Why the knee?
Yeah.
Well, it's just adding to the fact like if they were close up a walk, but like if you look down and notice somebody was biting you in the knee, they're
Yeah.
close enough to recognize up
That is
close.
that's a strange saying. I'd like to look that up and see the history of
Origins?
it because the origin, because I would think you could just say they could be standing right in front of me and I wouldn't know them. I don't think they need to be
No,
biting
I
your
was-
knee.
I was
I'm
gonna
trying to
say,
think of cannibalistic cultures where that might have derived from.
that saying takes a little bit too much explanation to be.
Yeah, or I've heard if it had been a snake, it had bitten you or something like that. I've heard that before. If it were a snake,
Well,
it
when you're looking for something that you
Yeah.
can't find, if
Yeah.
it had been a snake, it'd bit you.
if it had been
Yeah.
a snake biting you in the knee, you wouldn't even have recognized it.
Something like that.
Something like that. We'll make it up as we go.
Hey, before we get started, guys, I know Brady's first on the list tonight, but what say you we give a quick review of our night out of our
Of-
podcast of our Play It By Your Night Out.
Of
When
our
they let us
excursion.
out of the rooms we record in and go out
Yes.
into the world.
Sure. Who wants to start?
Brady, you want to start?
It was fun. It was better than Cats. No, it was great. So we went to the Hard Rock Casino and we saw some Richard Springfield, some Rick Springfield, some good 80s fun. It was a good show. I'm jealous that somebody could look like that at age 73.
Yeah, man, he looked younger at the end of the concert than he did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly. I never seen Rick Springfield before, Todd. I know you had, but I'm Brady. I don't know if you had or not.
I had not.
I was disappointed. Couldn't tell if he was inebriated or what.
He was a bit slurry, wasn't he?
He was, and he did not sing the words in the correct cadence in the song. It's like
In our circle of friends, we call it David Lee Rothing it. Because after I saw David Lee Roth and he would talk the lyrics, I get up. Another gets me down, man.
Well, and I'll jump in here too
Right.
because we talked about this the other night. There was one we ended up being late to the concert because I wanted to back up. You guys start with the concert. I'm going to start with us eating dinner at a fine establishment that we thought was kaput.
Fun.
We thought it was gone. As a matter of fact, I think we said the last episode that they were no more. But we found a fully standing and operable,
Operable.
operating Ruby Tuesday. And so we stopped in there to have dinner. It was right down the road from our hotel, and I got to the glorious croutons, the best croutons of any salad bar, the chewy dark brown croutons.
That's an obscure thing to be famous for.
What? Yes. But there are none other like them in the world.
No.
I don't even like croutons, and they were excellent.
Well, I don't even like rye bread, and I believe they're made out of rye bread.
Yeah.
Now, there's one negative to our Ruby Tuesday adventure. The food was good. I mean,
yes.
Took a while to get out, which made us late for the Rick Springfield concert. Right. But we had also talked about this last episode. We were talking about the cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster, and I think I mentioned that I think the ones at Ruby Tuesday are even better. And I didn't see nary a biscuit, nary a garlic cheddar biscuit. Now we didn't ask, but they don't appear to have them anymore.
Maybe that's how they allowed the restaurant to continue to operate. They had to get rid of the biscuits.
That's how they get you.
Cutting. That is how they get you. We went in wanting biscuits, no biscuits.
We were promised biscuits.
So I wanted to start there. Well, we ended up, again, that kind of made us late. And then plus parking is a little bit of an issue there and stuff. So we ended up, probably 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had gotten to any of his hits yet. So like the first, I can't remember what it was, but the first recognizable hit song, I think Aric and I were looking at each other like, what is going? He was literally like 2 beats behind on the chorus, each chorus. It was very strange. That was the worst I noticed. I thought it got better, but that was the worst. That was the worst I noticed. But I will add, Aric, I think it's pretty common, especially older bands, for the singers to. I'm not a singer, so I don't know if it makes it easier or what it does, but I think you're a little spoilt with Styx, because when you go see Styx, they still sound like they did vocally. They haven't lost a step, and they sound album quality. And so it is hard to go see a band that maybe hasn't quite held up as well as far as especially vocally. So,
all right, I'll accept that.
Not that the Styx is the only band you've ever seen, but
yeah, right. But even Kansas, I mean, I see Kansas quite a bit. They're strong. Night Ranger, I think they're strong. Most of the ones I see are pretty strong. But
there's strong bands out there. But I have seen what he was doing several times, and I don't know why they do it. I mean, it's just almost like they changed the biggest one was like watching the videos from the Bon Jovi tour last year.
Oh,
I mean, there was a lot being said about his voice and things like that, but the biggest thing that got me was the cadence, how he just changed. He lagged behind, and he would stretch parts of words out that weren't stretched out, and then shorten
try to
parts
make it
of
up
words
for
other.
it.
Yeah, it was very strange.
We have 11 people in the room now, so if you would like to check in, make yourself
I would like
known.
to add,
John is here. Good evening, John.
Yeah,
hey, John.
We did. Todd and I won $16.
Yes, we did. Aric went to play a game of blackjack, and so Brady and I found a slot, threw in $20.
Came out with 36.
Came out with 36. So we stopped right there, and that bought the next part of the night was
ice cream.
Ice cream.
UDF.
Aren't we partiers?
And you've never seen a group of middle-aged men searching so hard for UDF in your life, or any ice cream establishment. What did it end up being? An hour?
Yeah, probably. We went to 2 different places first.
Yeah.
You know, you're 11 o'clock
Friday
at night.
Cincinnati at 10 o'clock, you could find, or 11 o'clock, you could find ice cream someplace.
You would think.
Yeah. Well, we finally settled on our ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, Brady had ruined his ice cream desires by getting a candy bar.
Lame.
Aric and I, which he could have gotten a candy bar in his ice cream. That would have been the way to go.
Well, I got impatient and hungry.
Yeah.
So I dined upon my candy bar, then ruined myself.
Brady bought a candy bar. I bought 2 giant waters just for the joke, and it wasn't that funny. But to me, a giant water bottle was funny, and so I came carrying 2 of them and gave. Yeah, my sense of humor is very childish. But these were the biggest bottles of water I've ever seen. They were what?
56 ounces.
Yeah,
They were one step under one of those water cooler bottles that
Well,
had
I
to be
think
brought in by a camel.
Eric was done with his before he even went to bed.
I was.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't wake up in a water bed, man, without drinking that much.
I bet the onion had pressure.
So,
Maxwell.
The
Well,
ice
no,
cream.
no.
Eric and I enjoyed a UDF. I think we both got Sundays.
Yep.
And I'm nursing the whole time, nursing a sore tooth. Try eating a Sunday with after getting a couple of fillings, but I wasn't letting it stop me. We get back to our hotel. We pull up to the hotel parking lot, and there's a fire truck, like a life squad.
Let's see, fire truck, life squad, highway patrolman, and a Sharonville police department.
Yeah,
Highway patrol. Was there highway patrol?
Yeah,
there were
and we
several
looked at each
vehicles.
other. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
we're walking into a crime scene.
and people were coming out of the hotel. Like at the time, remember there was actually somebody carrying a child out. I mean, at first it looked very bad.
Serious.
And I say that to set this up. We have no idea what the hell happened. We literally we waited about 5 minutes. Eric, I believe, said, "Well, we're going to go in." We walked in. The manager at the front desk. We asked if everything was okay, and she said, "I think she said there was a
medical emergency."
medical emergency." And we went up to her room and never heard another thing about it. Very strange.
Yeah.
And then, being the partiers we are, we capped it off with
Scrabule.
So when you want to party with the big dogs,
We're so serious about Scrabble. We take twice as long because we want to use the Scrabble app
To score. Yes.
the scrap.
For our fellow Scrabblers, our fellow Scrabblers out there, we did learn something at the end of the game. There is a website that is a Scrabble dictionary. Basically, you can put in any word and it tells you if it counts in Scrabble. Why we didn't
Yay
know
or
that.
nay.
And how many
Yes.
points it is.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Which, by the way, Ivy, not allowed.
But buy is allowed. Go figure.
Oh, yes. That was the biggest argument of the night. Audience, you can chime in here. IV stands for intravenous. So
Oh, well, hang on a minute.
should
No,
be-
Eric says let's get
Here we
both.
go.
Let's get both of them on the table, Eric.
Sur la table.
I tried to play the word IV. Eric's argument up until then was if it's in dictionary.com, it counts. Until it got to IV, then it didn't count.
no, it's an
And-
abbreviation.
All right, that was good fun. You got to have
It
a
was.
couple. You got to have a couple disagreements in the game.
Yeah, right. Maybe spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. And the next day, we finished off our trip with a nice visit to the barrel of Crackle.
Crackle.
That would have been an hour and a half later.
Like every middle-aged, aging man should do, stopping at the Crackle Barrel.
See, we're only middle aged because we made it out of the Cracker Barrel before
Without-
going to the bathroom.
Which, by the way, the streak remains. We've often joked.
Oh, I'm
where-
sure.
Oh my gosh! When you go in the
yeah, the
Cracker
streak
Barrel-
is still in my toilet, Brady.
Stop! No, good lord! I'm talking
Don't tread
about
on
this.
me.
I was talking of anytime you visit a Cracker Barrel, guarantee it. If you look in the restroom, somebody will be in there conducting commerce.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely.
Anyway.
If you look under the doors, you're seeing dress socks up to the knees.
Oh my gosh! But
Uh,
I did have the best thing, man. I had the pancakes with cheesecake filling and fresh strawberries on top of it. It was diabetes on a plate, but it was delightful, man.
It was, yeah, it looked good. It was, and also they have, if you guys like the hash brown casserole, they have hash brown casserole tots.
mm,
Probably the tastiest tots I've ever taken.
yes.
The tastiest Todd to ever taste a Todd. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're right. The tastiest Todd to ever taste a tot.
Yeah,
Now I know my nickname for next week.
Tot.
the Tot father of Swole.
Does that sum up our trip?
Yes.
I think it does. Do we
Good
still have
timer.
people listening? Because like,
Yeah, it's going up. We got 12 now.
whoa.
Right. Oh, we also got, so two things happened. I said I didn't want the tater tot casserole, or no,
You say you didn't want the hash brown casserole.
hash brown casserole.
Yeah.
Brady did want hash brown casserole, right?
Yeah.
So they brought out Brady's hash brown casserole on my plate, and also brought my hash brown casserole tots. And when I offered to just slide them off my plate onto Brady's, she's like, no, you keep them. We'll bring Brady new ones. So I got hash brown casserole and hash brown casserole tots.
Yes.
And
thank you, Gary.
And
called all my friends.
Gary did there.
Let me take
nice.
that back up. Called all my friends. That's why it went up by one, right? Gary went from 11 to 12 there.
The other stroke of luck we had was I ordered sourdough's toast. They didn't bring it. So another waitress goes by. I've learned the trick. You got to tell a different waitress.
And you get
And
double.
Yeah. And so I asked her, I was like, I said, I was expecting some sourdough toast. And she's like, I'll get that for you. In the meantime, our waitress brings out my sourdough toast. 5 minutes later, the other waitress brings out a whole basket of sourdough toast. We had like 9 pieces of sourdough. We had so much sourdough toast, we had to leave half of it at the table.
It was like the Flintstones when they bring out the rack of ribs and the whole car tips. It was going to tip over from the sourdough bread.
Yes, I was the beneficiary of the extra sourdough.
Yes. All right.
All right. Good summary of the excursion, the play by ear concert / Scrabule / UDF / Ruby Tuesday Crackle Bell.
Crackle Bella.
All right. So on to beeswax now. If you've never seen the show, we all have a topic we bring to the table. We talk about said topic for a period of time, usually to try to exhaust said topic and move on. Brady goes first. Todd's in the middle. I will have the game of the evening, which today's game is called Race to Stupid.
Courtesy.
A new one?
That is a new one.
Oh,
Courtesy of Miss Wilson.
I feel like I have an advantage on this one, folks. I'm on
Todd
a
was
losing
a
streak.
Scrabble winner, by the way.
I needed that. I'm on a losing streak.
Even without his IV.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even need the IV. To tell you how much of a losing streak I'm on, I texted my wife the next morning and I said, I sent her a picture of the board and I said, I won, or something like along those lines. And I said, did you think that would happen or whatever? And without even missing a beat, no like smiley face, no wink, no LOL, no JK. It was no. I didn't expect that.
No.
So then when I'm like, well, I said, that's why I love you, is because your belief in me never wavers. She said, well, I think it's been so long since you've won a game on the podcast. I wasn't expecting you to win. So hence Eric's comment about the tadpole.
Or her disbelief in you never wavers.
That's right.
Brady.
See. All right. So, in honor of this being the last week of school, in vacation season kicking off for us in the education industry, for a lot of people, it's summer vacation, I decided to go with something that we all know, and that is most embarrassing vacation and travel stories. We've all been there. We've had things happen. And, we'll spin a couple of our own, maybe weave them in there. But this comes from a list. I've compiled these from about 3 different lists. And this one comes from jetsetter.com, which sounds way more swank than it actually is.
Swanky.
So are you ready?
Ready.
I will read the tagline. The time we talked dirty in Italian accidentally. One summer, I was traveling around Italy, and after a few weeks there, I felt confident enough to try my hand in ordering lunch in Italian. It seemed simple. Voglio un calzone per favore, because that's what it sounds like. Anyway, easy, right? Not so much. See, as I said the word calzone, which we know as calzones, but if you blend the L and Z, if you don't pronounce that L, calzone and calzone are totally different things. So, as the word calzone exited my mouth, my tongue stumbled, blending the L and the Z, which came across as calzone. To my horror, the 80-year-old Italian man sitting next to me burst out laughing as his modest wife crossed her chest in the sign of the cross. Had I butchered it that badly? I was too embarrassed to ask. So the man, trying to catch his breath between gasps and guffaws, finally said in broken English, you didn't. It means to say that she wanted a large male piece of the anatomy instead of a calzone. So when ordering at La Rosa's, be very conscious of that, or you might get the elderly Italian man not only laughing, but get his wife a case of the vapors so much that she has to cross herself.
The vapors.
The
The
vapors.
vapors. So Cazzoni. Is it Cazzoni or Cazzone?
Just calzone
Cazzone.
instead of calzone.
I don't think they're speaking much Italian in Mount Orab.
Probably not.
Yes. So, yeah, I did have. Oh man, I did have an embarrassing foreign language story once. Back in my younger days, I dated someone from Mexico, and I was trying to be suave and learn the language because I took French in high school. Okay, so Spanish was new. So, unbeknownst to me, here in English, we would say it would be my pleasure. Well, evidently, there's 3 or 4 different words for pleasure in Latin-based languages, each one of them having a different connotation. Let's just say I chose the wrong one, embarrassed myself horribly. Because there was recognition that, oh, he's trying really hard, and all of a sudden there was like what did I do?
What type of pleasure are you experiencing? Would that be the different types?
Yeah,
of
like it would
word?
be my pleasure, like gratitude, my pleasure. I'm happy to, help. And then there's, well, yeah. Yeah.
With the aforementioned kazone, right?
Yeah. Well, let's just say pizza-based pastries were not involved. So, anyway, it's kind of a fun story. Hey, let's go on to the next one. This one, oh man. I'm not going to read the title because it'll give away the ending. So let me just read you the story. For spring break, a group of my college friends, this is a she, by the way, drove down to Miami for a cheap week of fun. Our first night where we went to a club on Ocean Drive, and after some much-needed liquid courage, I finally worked up the confidence to talk to a guy. I've been eyeing him all night. He was tall and handsome and local, I presumed, from his tan skin and wind-tasseled hair. After grabbing a drink and joining him on the dance floor, we really started to hit it off, save for the memory of entering the number from his business card into my phone. The rest of the night was kind of a blur, and the next morning, my friends and I hit the beach and decided to call my crush. He arrived looking fit and smoldering and categorically out of my league. And the afternoon was spent swimming and drinking champagne and soaking up the sun. And at the end of the day, as we were packing up to turn back to the hotel, he says, "Do you want to settle up now or after?" And I said, "Well, settle up for what?" I asked, confused. He looked at me and shot up an eyebrow and said, "Well, for the day. You did look at my business card, right?" And in the fine print, it was a male escort, $500 a day.
Ooh.
So she said the best part,
We're in the wrong business, boys.
Oh, really? The best part, her broke anus could not pay for it, so she had to call her parents and have them wire her money.
I'm guessing if I chose that line of work, my price point would not be $500 a day.
Venmo me that $1, baby.
Well, yeah. So at what point you think at what point would have she? I mean, you would have thought she would have suspected something.
Did she give a freebie the night before or what?
No. There was no they were just mingling, and she thought was sparks.
Oh, okay.
And she didn't pay any attention to the business card.
But she said they danced the whole night together. I mean,
well, yeah, literally, it's Miami.
Well, but his time is what you're paying for, amongst other things.
Well,
I
no.
guess, but
The night before was not on the clock. he was wrangling business. So when she looked at the business card, not paying any attention, she like called the numbers. All he gave me his business card and did not know it was for a slightly questionable.
Not on the clock.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to open a door that probably shouldn't be opened here.
But you're going to anyway.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do it sensitively.
I can see the wheels turning. I'm scared.
It's 2023, and I never know. We don't want to get canceled.
With a T.
And here's the thing: at our age, we're too dumb to even know what'll get us canceled. Like we mean no harm ever, but people don't. No. The cancelers don't seem to care. No. So let me say this: I am shocked to know that there are men in that line of work that can pull in $500 a night. Because I would think the need for men who can pull in $500 a night would be very, very
minuscule.
You would think the seller's market would be the other way.
Yes, thank you, Aric.
The supply and demand ratio.
I would think for every man who is demanding $500, there's a man standing next to him say, "Keep your money. I'm free."
As he strikes the Captain Morgan pose.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that blows my mind. $500.
I am guessing that this gentleman probably looked like he walked off of, one of those bachelorette reality shows.
But still.
Allow me to vomit a little bit in the back of my throat.
We need some ladies to chime in here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
hey, ladies.
Bail us out here. $500?
Just to let them. This is TV 14, and I'm not breaking it. It was very clear from the story that there was nothing,
Yeah,
it was just spending the time. It was being in the presence of and the boyfriend experience.
But I'm assuming $500 would also. I'm assuming most $500 he earns is not for just hanging out. I mean,
so to speak.
Hello. All right. I'm gonna stop. We'll talk about this amongst ourselves because
I have one more thing here on that note. From a purely legalistic standpoint here, when is there an implied contract created? Is it the phone call that creates the implied contract? Because she calls, he arrives. I was about to say the other way.
Hello.
Does that imply, okay, I'm now going to give you $500? What actions involved here? Is it just?
I see what you're asking.
I should know this.
I see.
Most of these are rhetorical questions.
Yeah,
I know you all don't know.
I see where you're going with this, and also, is it agreed upon? Like, hey, $500 is 5 hours. $500 is 20 minutes. Or is it based on
carte menu of some sort?
Yeah. Like $100 is dinner and candlelight date.
Yeah.
$500 is a day at the pool with drinks and fanning you in the cabana. I don't know.
150 is we play chess and I let you win. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know. Gary's got a good point.
Yes. He says for $500, maybe he listened to her.
Which is exactly why I don't do that line of work, because I would not. I would be broke.
What, Todd? All right.
So many questions.
Yes.
So many.
So I wonder what her parents said when she contacted them.
I'm guessing this sounded like a pretty relatively straightforward Midwestern girl. I'm sure she was like a corn-fed Iowa girl that just got into something that she was culturally unprepared for. You know what I mean? Got in over her head and had no idea. Was a babe in the woods.
Mom and Dad, I accidentally picked up an escort.
Yeah.
Need $500.
So it did say in the story that at some point she felt or she realized that he was out of her league.
Yeah.
Did it say that? Was it?
She said he arrived. It's like, whoa, he was way out of my league. So there might have been some champagne goggles on her part or something.
Yeah.
Like where she was like she did mention liquid courage, so she must have been asserting herself in ways that she was not.
See, I can do for this girl much more than this guy, and I'll do it for free. No, let me finish. That didn't sound good. That did not sound good. My gosh, I couldn't have sounded more creepy there.
I was going to say, where are you going with this?
Wow.
And as a fry pan
creaking
comes
gate opening
right from the left of the screen.
That was terrible. That was a terrible segue. Let me back up. This girl does not need $500 worth of Celia.
The wife is in the house. Oh, really? She says.
All right.
Oh.
As if that couldn't get any worse. So bad he knocked his microphone off the table.
He's beaddled.
No, I'm trying to run my wireless, my earbuds.
Don't look now. There's a shadowy figure behind you.
Yeah, and
it looks like a knife.
My
or
cable
something.
was shorter, and I was not prepared as I jerked it off the table. Damn it! I'm struggling. All right, let me.
This commentary, we don't even need to say a
terrible.
word.
Speaks for itself.
No, here's what I actually have to say is this. What bothered me about the whole thing is
Carrie says Todd has been canceled.
wow.
Oh, the
Uh-oh.
gauntlet has been thrown. The wife says, if you're feeling froggy, jump.
She's going to like what I have to say here, I think. It started out terrible. So here's what I'm getting at. What bothered me, what stood out in that story was the fact that when she meets him and she instantly says, he's way out of my league. This girl needs confidence. She doesn't need a $500 escort. She needs confidence. That's what I was trying to say.
I got to find a commercial here.
That's what don't you think? No, that's what I was getting at. Like I was actually saying something very sweet and very kind and very supportive of this girl, and I just stepped in it. Right? I mean, right off the bat. She needs confidence. I mean, the fact that she sees him and says, "Oh, he's out of my league," which tells me all night she had to be uncomfortable. She had to be like,
well, no, I see. That's just it. I don't think she was uncomfortable at that moment because I think she'd had probably a couple fuzzy navels and was, or a Mazima or two.
What are you, 90? Had a couple Tom Collins.
Some Harvey Wallbangers. But I get the feeling that she was just kind of feeling her confidence via liquid courage. Then he shows up the next day. It's like, holy cow, this is better than I remembered it.
Yeah, but still, I think and she didn't purposely spend $500.
It is, like I said, that's what makes this story great is because it's like so innocent. But can I bail you out here?
I don't know that you can. But
well, here's a
that was
similar
terrible
innocent story. My mom worked with somebody that her family went to the Bahamas, and she was on the beach, and a lady, it's like, I'll braid your hair, $5. She's like, knock yourself out. So the lady starts braiding her hair, and she said, that'll be $200. She's like, no, you said $5. No, $5 per braid.
Per braid.
Ah,
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
And that scam continues to this day. Oh, wait a minute. I need to stop and turn it over to Jacques. Proceed, Jacques.
Jacques.
This is what this girl needs.
Some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Original and cooling.
Oh,
It
goodness.
never gets old.
We need sponsored by Menon.
Yes, we do.
By Menon.
We could be the new Jack Palances.
Play by ear, brought to you by Brute.
Man's forever sucking on a hard candy.
Oh, I forgot what my topic was. That was so engaging. I'm totally off track. This one, let's see. Here we go. This is kind of interesting. I stupidly decided to swim near a bunch of rocks on the Costa Smeralda. I gotta look up where that is. That doesn't ring a bell. It looks tropical though. And I was knocked in every direction by some heavy surf. I dragged myself out of the water and onto shore with dozens of black spikes embedded in my hands and feet. We drove to a nearby town, and my hands and feet started throbbing and swelling. We stopped by the pharmacy, staffed by a precious elderly woman, as they all in Italian towns. Here we are in Italy. And the chorus of ladies, kerchiefs on their heads, grabbed my hands and shouted various curses or prayers, passing my palms off to the necks and examining in every turn. They put some ointment on me that smelled like gasoline, and one of them in broken English said, "Sea urchins."
Ooh.
So she says
Barnacles.
Barnacles are, but like the sea urchins, which are kind of venomous. That would be, but I think the awkward part.
How can they be kind of venomous?
Well, I mean, it's just like
either they're venomous or they're not. That's a yes or no question.
Well, okay, excuse me. In degrees of venomosity, it's low. Like it was a less toxic, less what's the word I'm looking for?
Lethal.
Thank you. Kind of sea urchin. I mean, for Pete's sake, it's eaten in sushi, but I think that some of their spines can have venom, and some are worse than others. But I think I could just see this picture of these ladies chanting Italian curses and prayers. This lady with spikes protruding from her palms as she's swelling in an intense pain. When they finally get it out, it's a sea urchins.
The sea urchins.
All right. Let's see. Let me find a good one. I think this is the okay. This is kind of funny. I flew to Mumbai, India. Mumbai. A few years ago to attend a college friend's wedding. And during the party at her house, the groom's college roommate and I immediately hit it off. But I took things slow since I knew I'd see him later at the cocktail party being held at the Trident Hotel that night. 4 out of 5 travelers recommended. Anyway, that night, our group of... See what I did there? Anyway, that night, our group of friends were dancing on the elevated dance floor when he excused himself to get us more drinks. I saw the moment to make my move, and once he reached the bar, he turned around and we made eye contact. And suddenly, I took a full-on stumble off of the dance floor, 8 feet down.
Daggone.
And he saw her in this tumbling moment, and a whole dance club full of people saw it too.
Well, that could work in her favor.
Yeah.
That could. She could become
Damsel in distress.
Yeah, some sympathy.
Okay.
Did you know the 5th dentist cave? Now they all recommend the Trident Hotel.
The greatest line from Friends ever. All right. Now, I don't know if this qualifies as embarrassing, but it bears mentioning. Man, I can't even tell you how I would react to this, and it wouldn't be good. It was an end of a 2-week trip through New Zealand, and my travel group was staying at a hostel, mistake 1, in Christchurch, New Zealand. All was well until we were woken up in the middle of the night by a man who ran into our room from the hallway wearing a bandana over his face. He pulled my friend off his bed like a robber and then ran out the room laughing. It was a prank. It was one of our friends that was staying at the hostel. But we were already set to go home afterwards. Okay, so if somebody busts into my room and peels one of my friends, okay, if somebody would have busted into our hotel room wearing a bandana over their face and try to drag one of you guys out, they're going to be slapped upside the head with a Scrabble board and have tiles jammed into their nose holes. They're going to get a beat down.
Eyes out.
Yeah. So that's not funny. That's not embarrassing. That's mean?
Well, I think I shared this story. I think my mom and dad, I can't remember where they were here a couple years back, and some drunk guy came in my mom and dad's hotel room.
Really?
Yeah, just opened the door right up. So I don't know if he had a card that was either not swiped, I mean, like not whatever it was, he got in there, and I crack up to this day thinking, well, number one, what's not funny is, my dad carries when he's when he's on vacation, so he had his gun. So the guy came very close to getting shot, which is not funny. But what is funny is he walks in and sees my dad in his tighty whities
Oh,
and his sleep mask. My mom and her sleep mask. This drunk guy had to think, what in the hell have I just walked in on here? I got an older man in his underwear, and his tighty whitey underwear, and who knows what he thought about the mask, aiming a gun at me. It's like,
was he aiming a gun at him?
my dad had his gun, yeah.
Well, but did he actually?
I don't know if he actually aimed it at
Okay.
him.
Did he brandish his weapon?
That's not funny, guys.
Don't
I'm
wake
assuming
up.
I'm assuming of a certain age, you wearing tighty whities is weapon enough.
Indeed.
I tell you, me wearing tidy whities will garner $500 a date, and there will be no mistaking.
But
what
I mean, I
happened.
guess once he saw what he was kind of scared him. It kind of sobered him up really quickly, and he was apologetic. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
But there's a caution tale there. Like, it's very scary to just somebody to barge in your hotel or to barge in a hotel. I had it happen once. We were staying at a hotel after a race one night. It was with my cousin and some other people, and the only thing I can think of is we didn't check in until like after midnight.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming somehow they gave our room like away. I can't remember the exact story, but we walk in and like literally there's like just people hanging out there watching TV, and we kind of looked at each other and we walked out, went to the front desk and had it. So I do know it can happen, but
Yeah,
something to watch out for.
it'd be awkward. It'd be very awkward. Okay, I'm switching lists and going to Ranker, and this one's not so bad, and it's entirely our fault, but it was very, very embarrassing. So we had arrived at the dunes. I'm assuming it's the Dune National Park on Lake Michigan in Indiana.
Yeah.
And there's a couple places where you can set up your tent on the dunes. Well, we were not experienced tent constructors, tentists. And
Pitchers, tent
yes.
pitchers.
So they'd pitched their tent on the dune, and it was a rather windy day. Anyway, stop it. All right. So they came back, and after adventuring, and they're in various states of undress, getting ready for bed, and a gust of wind comes up and blows their tent away, and they're sitting there clutching their bodices.
It's been a zephyr.
Yeah, it got hit by a zephyr, and they said there was where some other travelers helped them try to reconstruct their tent as they're sitting there clutching their various states of undress. I'm assuming the lady was maybe topless, and it was windy, and there was nothing they could do. Things were getting blown away. There was nothing to grab to cover herself.
Yeah.
That would be awkward.
There's a visual.
There is a visual.
Now this I'm going to read from the list, and then I'm going to put in my own tale of woe into this. Lost their bathing suit on a cruise. The first day at sea on a Royal Caribbean cruise, I waited 20 minutes for the wave rider. I didn't tie up my shorts. I went on. Now, let me say what the wave rider is. It's an artificial wave. Like it's like a water park attraction where you get on a boogie board and it pushes water and it simulates a wave and you ride it. But there's a lot of water pressure there. Now, you can see where this is going because this happened frequently at Kings Island. I saw more unintentional nudity in line for this one attraction than anything. Well, this person's shorts ended up in the next zip code. And he was depanted there with a line of people waiting to get on this ride.
They should, at any of those rides that can cause that, they should have like a clothesline or a hook there where people can just grab another pair of shorts and slap them on real quick.
Yeah. Now, I got to be careful telling this story because it's not me. So I'm going to change name.
Sure, it's not.
No,
you.
it really isn't. When I tell this story, you'll know it definitely wasn't me. So I was told a tale of a lady taking children to the water park, and there was a very high water slide. Well, you're told to cross your feet on the water slide because when you splash down, there's a goodly bit of pressure, and you get. Well, this person forgot to cross their feet, and when they hit the splash pool, a jet of water went up the nether regions, and when they stood up, it had an enema action, and they proceeded when they stood up to conduct accidental commerce right there in the splash pool, and they had to shut it down and clean it up, and the pressure was so strong it ripped the suit like a hole in it, and they had to go purchase another suit.
Urban legend.
No,
Let
it is not.
Let me say this. It's very well known, if anybody who knows me knows how I feel about public pools, public water parks, public anything that involves water, bathing suits, lots of people, that kind of stuff going on. There is nothing positive about packing thousands of people on a slide in a pool. Nothing. There's nothing. It's all gross.
All the chlorine takes care of it.
At least that right there, to stay away when you see that. It's all the stuff you don't see that flies out of things
Well,
that make
that's
it gross.
why they had to close down. Things were flying out of things, but yeah, that would be so embarrassing. And like, well, Todd, okay. I was at Typhoon Lagoon at Disney. It's a water park. I was in my early 20s, and it's a really cool water park. It's a wave pool, but their gimmick is that every 90 seconds, instead of like there's the wave, they send out one big one, so it's double the size.
The tidal wave.
Yeah, it's a big
tsunami.
And the thing is, if you've ever been to Disney in the summer, there used to be lots of international tour groups. And there was a large group from Brazil there. Well, I just remember minding my own business in the water, and the large wave came up, and I looked up, and the posterior of one of these said Brazilian tourists hits me in the head. And like, I
male or female?
Female. And I just saw cheeks heading at me, and it knocks me down. Like I was wearing a butt hat for a brief second. And I got knocked underwater. And the thing was, when
she never even paid you $500. That was a free.
She didn't. In fact, what she paid me was a case of the stink eye. Like it was my fault.
Well, you're lucky you didn't get a double barrel case of pink eye.
Well,
got to watch out conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
But like, and like I said, I'm not even doing it justice because it was so quick. It's like, oh, here comes a wave, and I turn around and wham, and like I said, it knocked me backwards. So,
if people were being honest, there's literally nothing positive about public water anything. Public pools, public slides, public
harsh.
Water rides. There's nothing.
I have to side with Todd on that.
And let me say though, it's not like I've never done them. I used to do them when I was younger. And first off, anytime you go to Kings Island, you walk around 2 hours with wet ass shoes and wet. There's nothing positive about that.
But yeah, well, just for the record, when you go to the water park side, you wear flippity floppities or.
Yeah, so then you either have to wear flippity floppities the rest of the day, and I got to look at men's toes on the damn beast.
No.
And we know how Todd
feels about men's for me.
Yes, or you got to go change in a wet floor dressing room with cookies and food. I almost said a cuss word accidentally. Food and cookies and stuff wet all over the all over the floor. I wasn't even trying to cuss. I got food and cookies mixed up. You got cookies and food and French fries wet, smashed all over the dressing room floor. You know how I feel about wet food. So you got wet food, men's toes, and wet clothes. There's nothing positive about it. They should shut all water parks down.
Todd, I'm inviting you to the water park this summer.
Dude, you'll have to come in. You'll have to drag me.
Get on that
to-
24-hour flight and go to a city for a water park and fly back that
Podcast episode from a water park.
Yeah, you won't see me there. Nothing positive about it.
I just looked up my time. I think it's time to move on. 55 minutes went quickly.
Well, we spent 25 talking about our Rick
Our
Springfield
excursion.
adventure.
That is true. That is true. I got time for one more. Let's do one more and we can close it down.
One more.
All right.
I like it.
Okay. Now, I'm truly plagued by ear on this one. When I glanced over it, I saw nothing offensive. So if I have to do some gymnastics, forgive me.
Yeah. Have you not learned from me to proofread Brady?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep it organic here.
know. Yeah.
We'll just call it the uncomfortable train ride. A few years back, my wife and I were traveling around Europe, and we were about ready to catch a train from Budapest to Romania. We arrived at the station about 2 hours before boarding commenced. We wanted to make sure that we found the right train and give ourselves plenty of time. We were lucky enough to find a conductor who stepped off the carriage that we thought was going to be traveling on. He was a really lovely guy who actually let us on the train well before any passengers. We settled in for about an hour and a half, and we noticed people starting to queue up on the platform and decided it was probably time to hop off so we could hand over our tickets and reboard the train. I thought I could pop into the bathroom before we went outside and stood in line, so I ducked into the toilet at the end of the corridor, just next to the exit. I dropped my pants, sat down, and conducted my commerce. And commerce was good that day.
Here are
And
the gymnastics.
the said commerce was not so good because some dodgy Hungarian food the night before. Blame it on Budapest. The next thing you know, someone is banging on the door, so I quickly opened the door to be greeted by the same lovely conductor who was yammering away in a mix of Hungarian and Romanian. As I stepped off the train onto the platform, I saw my wife's face, who was looking straight at me wide-eyed, mouth agape, describing as a look of pure horror. Wondering what the heck was going on, I looked at the rest of the passengers, whose faces ranged from absolute disgust to comedic hysteria. The conductor kept up his barrage, and I heard the word bathroom and station as he pointed down to the tracks right next to the steps. This is where time seemed to slow the realization of what had happened. While I processed the conductor's strange and unexpected behavior, my wife's look of shock and the various expressions of the faces of the 30-something passengers, as I started to repeat in my head, please don't let it be what I think it is. I glanced down toward the tracks, and sure enough, there it sat. How was I supposed to know that trains empty out onto the tracks? So, unbeknownst to people, in Europe, when I guess you conduct your business, it goes right to the tracks. Well, nobody told him that. And as the line of people was there, he was emptying his contents. People were lined up and seeing it hit the tracks stationary. And he walked out, and he was known as the purveyor of the commerce.
Gosh. So is that true? They just emptied out on the tracks?
It has to be. It's on the internet. Well,
Like
no, I mean,
tracks.
I had to stand there in line with everyone for almost 20 minutes while everyone held their noses and gave me filthy looks.
Filthy
all
looks.
while imagining them.
What's a filthy look?
That's my filthy look. Anyway, all while imagining them witness the horror of my sound effects and what I left behind as they were. So everything was going down literally, and people were watching. Talk about an uncomfortable train ride. I was too embarrassed to step out of my cabin for the entire 26-hour trip.
I would like. So, how is that sanitary? How is that like legal to
Well,
dump?
it's not in the United States, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe some other countries have laxer environmental laws.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
there's no EPA in Hungary
Yeah.
or Romania.
But that's something else. That would definitely be an embarrassing travel moment. It'd scar you for life.
So I harken back to Gary's last comment. He was referring to the water park, but I believe the train was the splash zone.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
All I can think of is that Europe song, "Danger on the Tracks." Whoa.
I'd hate to be the
Indeed.
train behind the first train.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I hope people enjoyed embarrassing vacation stories
Yes, very
that
much
led
so.
us in unexpected directions. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The end.
Visit the website, www.playitbyyourpodcast.com. Buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. Buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, click
There
it.
you go.
Yes, that being the t-shirt right there, the softest t-shirt you'll ever own.
Like the
Right
foof
there.
of a young alpaca.
Yeah, click on click on the store link at the top of the page. It'll take you to buymeacoffee.com, or actually it takes you to another page. You click on the picture of the t-shirt, then you go to buymeacoffee.com.
And our supply is getting low, so act quickly before we have to restock and put out the next generation of tea.
Did we even promised a free tea to someone leaving a voice message, and we still,
Yeah, no voice message.
Nobody wants our shirts.
Well,
guys? I mean, think about
Dang
it. We embarrass ourselves weekly on here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure anything you say would be less embarrassing than what we say.
exactly.
All right, Todd.
All right. So, in honor of the season, it is graduation season, and in honor of my son graduating high school on this coming Sunday, and I know other graduations have happened already.
Sunday.
I have a list of, it's basically 16 people sharing a major high school memory that can never happen today.
Ooh.
Now, this might get us into, like we talked earlier about being canceled. Like maybe it wouldn't happen today out of fear of cancellation. Maybe it wouldn't happen today. There may be many reasons why it wouldn't happen today, but I think most of them are self-explanatory for most of our listeners. All right, so here we go.
Aric, your face of anticipation.
This one, number one. Well, they're not like in order, like a rank, but on the last day of school in grade 9, last day of junior high. I find that interesting. First off, that grade 9 was considered junior high to this person.
It's Canadian.
Yeah.
They
Well,
always
some-
put the grade and then the number, like grade 5, grade 7.
Well, some American schools have grade 9 in with the middle schoolish.
Oh, well, I mean, like my licensure is 4 through 9.
Yeah.
Mine too.
My friends and I took our principal hostage with water bombs and squirt guns. We tied him to an office chair with an electrical cord and wheeled him up and down the halls.
Willingly, I'm assuming.
We called the school board and demanded ransom of ice cream sandwiches. After 2 hours of this, they gave in and we got our ice cream sandwiches. We released the principal. I think he got an ice cream too. It was all in good fun. We were the good kids, and everyone, including the principal, was laughing along with us. But this was 1985. 1985. So, first off, it would be like Brady, you said the principal. The principal had to have, like, obviously been in on it.
Yeah.
And I think we all can probably figure out why this can never happen today.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
But it does sound like good fun. And bottom line, they probably could have gotten the ice cream sandwiches in other ways.
Yeah.
But they did get their ice cream
Well,
sandwiches.
I mean, I know that our friend Kyle Brewer, him and Ms. Mills, when I was, in North Adams Elementary, they had a thing where classes could win a contest. I think it was AR points or something, where they could duct tape the principal and the assistant principal to the wall.
This is equivalent to that. This is
yeah.
Our principals get slimed, and I've seen pies in the face. I've seen that kind of thing before.
That's the worst.
Oh,
That is the worst
ah,
because you get pie in the face, and then some kid will just jam it up your nose, and then it curdles up in there, and you can't get it out.
oh,
and-
yeah.
Well,
It looked like
first
I
off,
had pink eye. It got in my eye holes, and it was awful.
so you survived somebody's hind end. You survived the flying butt pliers, but to quote Ren and Stimpy, but you couldn't fight through the pie. So here's my problem with pie in the eye type thing or pie in the face. It's not pie. If it doesn't have a crust, it's not pie. Don't put just a bunch of Cool Whip in a disposable metal pan and call it a pie. If it doesn't have fruit, chocolate, peanut butter, nougat,
Minnesota nougat.
crust, snake spit. If it does, then it's not pie. That's the problem. The pie would feel a lot better to the face if it were actual pie because it wouldn't
Soften
hurt.
the blow.
It would soften the blow. But when it's just an inch of whipped cream,
It's like a delicious airbag.
Delicious. Gary says that would never happen today. Not allowed to have extension cords in the classroom. John says, I bet a few students at Fayetteville have thought about this with me. Maybe just this very day. You never know.
all right, number 2. My father told me how they would settle fights in his high school. He graduated in 1977, year I was born. He told me that if 2 guys were fighting, the coaches would take them to the gym, give them boxing gloves, and let them fight it out. I've heard of that before.
I have as well. Yes.
Yeah. The winner got 1 pop or lick or hit, etc.
Oh, okay.
The loser got 2. That's how they let them get their aggression out, and they still both got punished. And this is Texas in the mid-70s, mind you.
That would be like the same era as Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Texas in 76, 77.
I thought it'd be Texas last year.
Yeah.
Well,
Hello, Jim.
hey, James. All right, number 3. It just says, rest in peace, wooden playgrounds. We all miss you. Plastic playgrounds are just not the same. Amen.
That is a fact.
All I know is when you take these kids go down these plastic slides, if they have long hair, it stands out like they got their hands on a Tesla coil and
Yeah.
static charges their butt as they come down, and like arcs, you could see go right to the. I mean, I went down one of those and I took a shock to the buttle. It's awful, and I mean, I got shocked like crazy. It hurt. You could hear it crackle, and it's like I can't
I
even
didn't know your
imagine.
buttle was such a conductor.
But it was a it's a capacitor.
So the story goes.
No, like legit, it like shocked my rear end, and like when I got to the bottom of it and started to, stand up at the bottom, it's like "Ugh!" And the
Brady,
kids keep playing about it all the time.
I'm ashamed that you're making it sound like these kids have it rough on the slide. Go down one of the metal slides we got back behind Cerdino on an 85, 90 degree day.
Oh, yeah, with 3rd-degree burns and a case of pediatric hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Gosh, no, it singed the hemorrhoids right off. It performed hemorrhoid surgery right going down the slide. But here's the thing. If you have never been cherry bombed by a wooden teeter-totter that is barely held together and got a splinter in the back of your bare leg, you haven't played on the playground. These plastic they don't even have teeter-totters anymore, do they?
No. I mean, that's
Do you remember the old teeter-totter behind the school there in Senior? It literally would walk over, like it wouldn't even stay in its bracket. It would walk two feet
I know
either
it
side.
will wander down the pole that it's fulcrum.
And I remember in my 8 years there, once in 8 years, did they put new boards back there.
Oh,
They were just.
I don't know that they ever did in the 9 years we were there, Brady.
yeah. I mean, that one teeter-totter, I'm sure, came over. It was a plank from the Mayflower, and the splinters would Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Rough.
Now, Brady, John thanks you for the visual for your slide story.
Well, dude, I'm yeah, I know I exaggerate for the comedy sake, but like I legitimately, because the kids talked me into going down the curly slide, the curvy one. Man,
Yeah.
when I got to the bottom of that and my feet hit the ground and I stood up, it's like
The whole that gives a
horrible.
whole new meaning to the term "shock the monkey."
Peter Gabriel was blaring.
All right, this one kind of goes off topic according to based on the title. It says in kindergarten, this is supposed to be about high school, we had free time in the classroom where we were allowed to play with various activities around. Most activities were fairly benign except for the woodworking bench. This was a bench with a bunch of scrap wood, saws, hammers, etc. Everything you need to make a bookshelf, really, all put into the hands of a 5-year-old. Now, I don't remember that in kindergarten.
No.
But there was also, I was promised when I started kindergarten, there would be a giant shoe in the middle of the table that I could practice tying my shoes on, and there was no such shoe. Did you guys have one of those?
Shoe?
We were promised shoe tying.
Did you guys have a large shoe that kind of sat out in the middle of the table where you could practice tying?
I remember.
No.
I remember precious little about kindergarten, probably because it was traumatic. I remember nap time, but that's about it.
We had to take our rug in. You had to take your own rug back
Yeah,
then.
your rug. Yeah. Mine was Pepto-Bismol colored shag.
Mine
the
was
bismuth blanket. Those things were pretty much just lice catchers if you think about it.
Oh,
I mean,
gosh, they caught a lot of stuff. Like mine was like one of those beaded rugs. I say beaded. You probably know what I mean. Where like it's stitched, where it looked like it was made from cloth beads. But I never wanted to sleep. For gosh sakes, I was a 5-year-old and fought nap like George Washington fought the British. I would get in trouble for not wanting to sleep.
I don't think anybody actually ever slept during nap time. What was the idea behind that? That we're gonna actually try to get 5-year-olds to take naps?
I don't know. I think it was planning period.
I was going to say, was it more about the teacher? Maybe gets a little
nap. Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
And but I would always get in trouble because my word for it back then, I would make a human ho-ho. I would like roll up in it, so my head would be poking out one end and my feet would be poking out the other end, like was being kidnapped.
Brady, the Brady burrito, if you will.
Yes.
All right,
and that got you in trouble too.
Oh yeah.
We got a couple comments, John. Full circle nap time in kindergarten. Now always nap time for me at 58. That's true. Celia always had the best rugs. Fortunately, my grandpa owned a carpet store.
Gosh,
you got
all the snooty can you get?
Got all the best remnants.
Yeah,
to take to kindergarten.
What a highfalutin rug.
My rug was like Smurf blue.
Yeah.
Maybe a little lighter, but I think it was about Smurf blue, and I'm pretty sure my rug, for some reason, I think I'd have to ask my mom about this, but my rug seems like it had like the non-slip material underneath of the.
Could roll up in that one.
I think mine was actually like a shower mat or like the little thing that everybody had in front of their toilets. Whose idea was that to put carpet right there in front of their toilet? And remember the back of the toilet used to have a carpeted. You remember people had those like the carpet?
Oh yeah, they were full shag too,
and the toilet seat. Whose idea was that to put a carpeted toilet seat?
Oh well, there's that, and then the problem with those things is like when you go to pee in the middle of the night and you're not getting in the bowl and you're peeing on the carpet, you can't tell that because it doesn't make a sound.
No, there's splatting sound.
All right, number 5. Be given peanut butter cups as a reward. My sister is 7 years younger than me, and in elementary school, kids who brought peanut butter to lunch had to sit at a separate table to prevent kids with peanut allergies. So we've talked to this before. So basically, they're saying like, you couldn't. bring peanut butter cups or anything peanut butter related into the school.
See, now I think it's opposite though. Like the ones that the peanut allergies have their own table. It's not the people with the peanut stuff sits at a table.
Yeah.
One building I worked at went as far as to put a peanut sign that was like taped to the top. So it would be like the ixnay on the peanut. It was the peanut like that.
Yeah.
Well,
with
we
the
have one of
slash through.
those. We have one of those standing like tent things on the table with it's peanut free table.
So we've talked about this before, and we have to, we obviously have to approach this delicately. What was there such a thing when we were kids, and just kids were sick and we didn't know why, or kids, you know what I mean? Like, would that explain some of the sickly, the kids that maybe had trouble?
Well, if some kid were going into anaphylactic shock, I think we would have noticed that.
True, to that point, to that extent, yes. But like, so what is the theory?
What environmentally has changed since we were young to now that you see more peanut allergies and things?
No, that's a question for people a hell of a lot smarter than I am. But something is different. I mean, something is.
Yeah.
Never heard of it when we were younger.
No, and if a kid was lactose intolerant, we didn't know that. We just thought they were flatulent.
Lactose intolerance.
Toddlerance.
Number 6. They made us do PE in our underwear in a mixed gender class, as if I didn't hate PE enough already.
Now, I have heard stories like way back in the day, like you would swim in PE naked.
What?
Yes.
What?
True. Truth.
What a Jeffrey Epstein Elementary. Gosh.
Too soon.
Too soon.
It closed itself.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
You're going to fool around and get canceled. I don't know. Like, we're having a conversation the other day with my dad, and I remember one of the many jobs that I've had. I was in an apprenticeship, and I was with an HVAC company. I was going through the mechanical equipment service schooling for about a year and a half, and which was HVAC and electronics and things like that. And so I got in my apprenticeship, the company I got on with had a full-time crew at AK Steel. So I worked at AK Steel for about a year, and I know a couple of the different places buildings we went into. Some of the bathrooms didn't have doors on the stalls, and that just freaked me out. And then I talked to my dad about back in the day, like at GE and stuff, and he talked about how the bathrooms didn't have doors on the stalls. I don't quite understand the concept behind that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. Like was this just like when they say underwear, do they mean like that exercise clothing was just so small that it was deemed underwear?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, was it a deal where kind of like basketball shorts? Like, if you look back at my 8th grade basketball shorts, it might look like I was playing basketball in my underwear.
Yeah, they kind of look like that. I mean,
do you know what I mean? Like, was that this person is remembering that they had to dress out for gym and shorts were just small? Like, or do they legit mean underwear?
I don't know. All right, so on Wikipedia. Yeah, I know Wikipedia is a public source, whatever, but I mean, there's a whole article about, having swimming in the nude, like in public places, like in school and things. And then they explained it by swimsuits would cause waterborne disease. So therefore, you had people not wearing swimsuits.
Man, have I told you about what I feel about public water holes and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Gary, to the Jeffrey Epstein Elementary comment, too soon but well timed. Joey.
Gary
says Stockton Central. Yeah, California. Joey, Wikipedia equals all someone's opinion. Not all, but some. Yeah, it's better than it used to be.
It is. As I say,
Yeah.
it's now an acceptable reference, or I believe in college.
Jim, at the 4-H camp in Clarksville, there were no dividers to separate the crappers. Talk about holding your crap. That's gonna. Brady already has a look on his face. That'll set us off on a tangent here.
That's what I was saying. I'm pretty sure Dad talked about that too. Is that there weren't even dividers between them? So at that point, what's the sense in even having a bathroom? Why don't you just have a bunch of
what kind of
holes in the
sadistic
ground?
person even does that? I don't even think that's budget. Like, who thought that no privacy was ever okay? Even back in the day. In fact, I'll go one farther. Back in the day, you were in either a privy pit or an outhouse by yourself.
Right.
Totally separated.
So when did they go, okay, we're all going to put them in one room together?
Well, then there's my distaste of shower rooms, and all you have is spigots coming out of the wall.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, I saw a picture. It was on Facebook. Like, I think it was the Bengals Facebook page, and there was like a picture of like a shower room there, and it was that way. And I thought, I can't imagine that these NFL teams have just giant open shower rooms with the spigots coming out of the wall. You would think they would have individual stalls. I mean, if I'm making millions of dollars a year, I want to have privacy when I'm taking a shower.
Well, if I had to make a free agency decision, that would make my decision. I would not be picking a team with no dividers in the showers.
Yeah. I bet they didn't have to shower with the referees though, like you had to at Eastern when you after basketball games. You know what? First off,
can I keep on your discussion? I need to step out of the room for just a moment to check on an injured child. Okay.
All right.
Oh, lovely.
So first off, I never understood the referee showering after a game. And I don't mean, Aric, you've been a referee. You've refereed and umpired and stuff like that. Yeah. I think I can understand. I guess it depends on how far they have to travel afterwards.
Right.
Or what they have to do after the game.
Right.
But I assume that most, let's say a Friday night high school basketball game, they're out of there, 10 o'clock, something like that. Yeah. I'm assuming they're just driving straight home. Do you mean to tell me that you can't just drive home for whatever your distance is and take a shower at home as opposed to showering with the home team's basketball team?
Well, that's what I did. Never did I shower after refereeing or umpiring or anything of that sort.
But you saw them shower, like you would see, like in our locker room. Yeah. So to any referees out there,
I don't know. You don't have an answer to that one.
No, I don't either. All right, we want to move on?
Let's move on.
All right, number 7. In elementary school in the early 1980s, if you misbehaved, you had to put your name on the chalkboard in a special place. Misbehavior subsequent times made you put 1 or more check marks next to your name. Get 2 or more checks next to your name, and you had to stand on the line at recess, which entailed, as the name implies, standing pretty much motionless on a line for up to 45 minutes, watching the other kids play. Bear in mind, this is in southern Texas, where 8 out of the 9 months of school were done in 90-plus degree weather. Also, bear in mind that this is around the time that parachute pants were popular. For those not in the know, parachute pants are pants made of parachute material, virtually airtight and made of plastic. So we have misbehaving children forced to stand in the 90-degree weather under an ever-shining sun, slowly asphyxiating their lower body, and you weren't allowed to get a drink of water from the water fountain. Also, the line you stood almost 5 feet from the water fountain, teasing you. So as you slowly melted away, starting with your legs. I think there might be a bit of hyperbole here in this, but I would like to know at what point recess was 45 minutes.
That's a valid point.
The whole idea of a name and check marks and stuff that was more recent in the early 80s. I had that in high school in the 90s. Except we had demerits. We had demerits. Yeah, we had demerits, and but I remember certain teachers, like even with your demerits, like they would put your name on there, and like you had the check marks, which meant a demerit or whatever, like 3 check marks, then was a demerit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our demerits came in 4s. I always thought that was strange. Like you would get a minimum amount of 4. So like when you got a demerit slip, it was immediately 4. instead of one. I just always found that fascinating that it was in bunches of 4.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, hey, I got 4 demerits, like I have 16 demerits, it always sounded way worse, you know?
Well, plus, wasn't there? I think there was a demerit, like a certain amount of demerits equaled another on the hierarchy of
level.
punishment.
Yeah.
I think if you got to 16, that was a after school detention or a
Something
Saturday
like that.
school or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even remember having teachers that you had to go put your own mark on the board.
Walk
you
of
had to
shame.
Walk of shame.
Yeah, you had to walk up, put your own mark on the board. But first off, how great were chalkboards in general? I tell
hate
my
chalkboards.
students stories about chalkboards and how like everybody wanted the job, at least at Sardinia Elementary. Everybody wanted the eraser cleaning job. You guys remember that? Did you ever you went
Now,
into the
Sardinia Elementary had a machine that cleaned
Yes.
erasers.
That's why everybody wanted to do it.
Yeah,
You wanted to get
right.
sent to the boiler room.
Boiler room.
Yeah.
So you could,
Right.
so you could risk life and limb by.
And it had a big what like bladder. You
Yeah.
turn it on, that bladder
Yeah.
would fill up with air, and you
The flume.
Yeah. Do you remember? They would let us do it. They would like let students go do it. It was a
Yes.
great
And the
job.
ones that didn't make it, they just threw them in the boiler.
Imagine if you ever would have gotten your arm caught in that thing.
Yeah.
Still be there.
So Joey has several comments on the discussion. First of all, he says, "I do all the streams in parachute pants." You never know, Joey. You never know. Says recess was 15 to 20 minutes for me in every school ever. I think we
Yeah.
had half-hour recesses.
I seem to remember 30 as well, but ours
30,
are
yeah.
20 now.
Yeah.
I always hear
Uh,
these tales of Scandinavia where they still have 1 hour recesses.
Well, you
Like-
missed the part of in the one I just read. They had 45-minute recesses.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Joey also says, I've done this before. We used to put chalk in the eraser, so when the teacher tried erasing the board, she would chalk it.
Oh
See,
yeah.
I always was a hard pass on the chalkboard cleanup because I didn't like the grit under my fingers and the scratching.
Yes.
Oh.
You would be the only one to not like cleaning the erasers, Brady.
Yeah, but on the
I would just
with
smack
the
them together and make a cloud.
with the suction machine, you didn't get it under your fingers. It was
No.
Yeah.
yeah. And
It was absorbed into the big bladder.
I wonder
Oh,
wonder if that system is
there's
still
a theory.
up.
There's a theory. Gary said maybe chalk dust immunized against food allergies. That's why
Ooh,
we
there
didn't
we
see
go.
as many peanut allergies back in the day.
So I wonder in the old Sardinia school if the eraser machine or the eraser cleaning machine is still there.
I'm sure somebody bought it at an auction, and when they want to de-stress, they just go down and clean some erasers and go get transported back in time.
Why do I think, why do I remember though, Aric, that thing was running all the time? And like it did that obviously when you put the erasers over, but I don't remember a switch. I think it just ran constantly.
No, there was a switch.
Was there?
My dad was the custodian in the building. I know that. I know that
Oh.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
switch. Like I said, then the bladder had no air in it when it was off, but when it turned on, the bladder filled up
I do remember that. Yeah.
and the
I
motor
remember, yeah.
started. Yes,
Bladder.
that's one of the main reasons, one of the many reasons I should say Sardinia is better than Russellville. Yes, we
That's right.
had an eraser cleaning machine.
And by the way, coming from the person who had fancy carpet remnants for rugs,
right?
That's rich talk.
we won't be browbeaten by you.
I was at a graduation party for my great nephew at the old Russellville school the other day, and my son looks at me and says, "Did you go to school here?" I'm like, "Did I go to school here?" This is enemy territory. I did not go to
Right.
school in Russellville. This is
Maybe one of the worst
epicenter of
gyms.
enemy territory.
Maybe one of the worst gyms in our league back in the
I
day.
still broke out in a cold sweat when I walked into that place 35 years later.
That gym would make a
Terrible.
20-point a game score and cut their average in half just by walking in the gym.
Yeah.
Just
indeed.
a terrible place to play.
Yes.
Number 8. The woodshop teacher smoking during class.
Now, does it happen to mention the number of fingers he might have on that hand he has a cigarette?
Now stop it.
We've talked before about the smoking, the teachers' lounge and
Oh.
how it was filled with smoke.
Have to go deliver something to the teacher's lounge, and you need a fog light and a miner's helmet just to find your way to the couch.
How did the non-smokers handle it in there?
Oh,
I don't think there were non-smokers there for a while. I mean, it seemed like every teacher smoked.
man.
So one in particular, although I never had his class, I heard. I mean, his room was like right across from the teacher's lounge, so he would give an assignment and go over to the teacher's lounge and be puffing away whilst the students were in the room working. And then students would go and have to ask him questions about things and go into the smoky lounge.
I was told
You saw smoke, a newspaper, and a set of legs and shoes coming out of the bottom of the newspaper. That's pretty much what you saw when you went to the teacher's lounge.
That's a fact.
I was told there was a student smoking lounge back in the day in some schools.
Yeah, I've heard of that before too.
Yeah.
Number 9. When I went to elementary school in Asia, everyone had their own pencil case and brought small box cutters to cut pieces of paper, and it was never an issue with teachers. So why do you think that is? Like, why do you think it was never an issue?
Why would they need it? I don't get it.
Did this act as scissors? Did they have this in lieu
That's
of
what I was
scissors?
saying. What's wrong with a pair of scissors? Why on earth would you like escalate things to that level? That seems unnecessary. Because I think a box cutter would be more expensive than child scissors.
You would think.
I didn't read. There's another. I didn't see this. It says, fast forward to high school in the U.S. I'm having trouble cutting paper, so I asked to use the box cutter on the teacher's table. Teacher proceeds to freak out and tells me that they have to cut it themselves for my safety. Number 10. My daughter and her classmates are not allowed to run during recess at all. We used to run and play tetherball and kickball and dodgeball, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure why they wouldn't be allowed to run during recess.
I mean, all our playground was in early elementary was just a blacktop parking lot, and we weren't kept from running.
No.
Of course, I was wearing tough skin jeans, which you could not in your knee in ever.
I was going to say, it was you pretty much damaged the parking lot if you were wearing tough.
Exactly. All right. Jim says here, didn't have that, but the teacher's lounge was full of smoke. Opened the door, you thought there was a fire in there. And yes, the school he went to, CNE, had a smoking area until the late 1970s.
Wow. Okay, can I ask, was that for the 18 and up students, or did you used to be able to smoke at age 16? Am I misremembering that? It seems to me as a
if you're
real
in high
young
school, you're at age 14, really. I mean, there didn't used to be an age in buying cigarettes, did there?
See, that's what I'm trying to remember.
I don't
it
think
seems
there was.
like. Well, my mom said that back in the day, and of course, this would have been in the 50s and 60s. My grandpa would give her money to go get his carton of Lucky Strikes, and she would walk there and pick it up for him, which of course wouldn't happen today.
Right.
But
so the next one. When I was in grade school, all the older classes, think grades 7 and 8, would have a battle royale at recess with every piece of sporting equipment we could get our hands on. Soccer balls, footballs, basketballs, frisbees, tennis balls, you name it. If you got hit, you were out. Simple. People were getting hit in the face with frisbees, but everyone loved it. I'm just going to assume kids aren't allowed to do that anymore.
you would
The
assume
nurse
correctly.
didn't love it.
Well, dodgeball it doesn't show up on our playground at all.
Non-existent
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
What a shame.
We do.
What?
Go ahead.
Okay, here's a case in point. Now, I don't know about you two. I don't ever remember going to the nurse or going to the office injured at any point. Was it just a case of where the teachers just kind of dealt with whatever and you weren't really sent to get quote unquote medical attention, even if that were by the secretary, or was that just me? I just didn't get injured.
I can only remember one going to the nurse's office. There was one time I vomited at school. but it was in the bathroom, not in the classroom. And I remember going up to being the nurse. I was probably like third grade. But the only time, speaking of third grade, the only time I went to the nurse's office is when I got that terrible case of poison ivy on the first day of third grade, and I had to go and get that pink goo applied to me twice a day.
I don't remember. I know we got a couple comments here. The only time I remember people going to the nurse, number one, was sick, like sickness, throwing up sick and stuff, and then like broken bones and stuff, which I ACC commented here. So if you want to pull those comments up, but I'm like you, Aric. I don't remember.
No.
There's not a day goes by where I don't have 3 or 4 kids asking to go to the nurse station for various reasons and things like that. Is it just kids tougher back then, I guess?
Maybe. Jim says doesn't know about the student smoking area as far as who was able to smoke there, but it got shut down because students got caught smoking weed. So that
wacky backy.
Left-handed cigarettes.
Karen says the smoking area at Eastern, where we went to school, was outside the door near the library in the early 80s. Maybe it wasn't legal, but it happened. Celia, I only remember going to the nurse when I broke my arm. She also says we did not have a full-time nurse in the building, which is true. I think there was only one nurse in the entire district.
Yeah, we shared a nurse.
Traveling.
The only time I ever saw the nurse was during fluoride treatment time.
Oh, don't get me started.
Got to swig that little cup of snake venom.
Oh, don't you dare spit it out. If you spit it out or get a drink, you're going to lose your recess.
And your teeth.
I'd rather lose my teeth than lose recess.
Oh, yeah. And then you'd have to eat the shame pill. And it was the pill that you chomped on that would show the plaque on your teeth and say, you didn't brush.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, and I mean no offense to anyone in the dental realm. There's no more like
barbaric.
I'm 45 years old a couple weeks ago at the dentist, getting taught how to brush my teeth. I've never been more humiliated in my life. Like, there's no more humiliating. I mean, I'm sure there are more humiliating medical things, but that's pretty bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting scolded. I feel like I'm getting scolded by the dentist every time I go. Doesn't matter what age I am.
No more humiliating experience in life in the medical realm where something is not touching a part of your body that doesn't want to be touched, or something put in a part of your body nothing should go into, than that.
Yeah.
Gary, we had a library question mark.
Beats me.
Yes, we did, Gary, because it was a mad sprint to get 2 things: the latest edition of Sports Illustrated and the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. Or the newest Garfield comic.
Oh, yeah.
Or the newest Garfield. Remember the Garfield books were like they were like rectangular but long, like they were.
I have 5 of them in my memory box.
That was the only book shaped that way. It was the only book shaped that way. Just the shape of the Garfield books was.
So Gary, I guess you weren't a smoker since you didn't know we had a library.
So
my wife is in the room. She gets flossing lessons every time.
Yeah. I don't even ask for them. I bet she doesn't ask for them. She knows how to floss. But
just say
it's kind of their job.
I want to cut into my bill here. I don't need the education part of the dentistry here. Let's just.
I want you to fix my teeth. I don't need to.
I play no role in this. You fix my teeth.
Well, and so,
yes, you do play the role by flossing 3 times a day.
And I'll fully admit, I had a couple of fillings here recently that I had to get done, and I hadn't had one in years. I don't remember the last time I had that happen. So I'm getting this done, and they were 2 way in the back and the top back here, and they were side by side, and it felt like they were killing me. I mean, it's what it, I mean. Like I had the laughing gas, and it's funny because this is the way my mind works. So I had the laughing gas, and now I hadn't had the laughing gas since I don't remember the last time either. So now I remember the laughing gas it covered your whole face, like pretty much. Now it just covers your nose. The one I had, it just barely covered your nostrils.
Did you vomit?
No, but I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why do they call this laughing gas? And I kid you not 30 seconds later, my lips started curling up on the ends. I was damn near about to start laughing.
Like the Joker.
It was total, like it was not, I had no control. It was just starting. They were just starting to do it. And they hadn't even started the procedure yet. I'm laying there by myself. And I'm like, this. That's why they call it laughing gas, apparently. So anyway, they come in and they've done the laughing gas for a while, and they come in, they get started, and the drill's going, and all of a sudden they get real deep or something, and just like it hurt, and I kind of did a little jerk, you know what I mean? And the dentist pulls away and is like, did that hurt? I'm like, yeah. I shake my head, yes, and they're like, okay, so then they wait a little longer. I'm assuming maybe waiting for the shot stuff, a little more numbness. So they go back in, and before they start, they say, "All right, now you have to raise your hand if you feel it, if it hurts." So then I'm laying there thinking, okay, what is an acceptable amount of pain I'm supposed to feel? Like, do I raise my hand as soon as I feel anything? Give me a number at least. Give me if it's extreme pain, raise your hand.
Should I feel no discomfort here at all?
Yes, exactly. There's just no
pressure.
Yeah. So anyway, it's lasted like an hour, and then they get done. And the dentist said that ended up being a pretty big deal, so I didn't feel quite as bad. So I think apparently it was a little bigger deal than they had expected. But anyway,
it's a deal.
The sound and the smell is what gets me to the dentist's office. There's a certain smell, and it causes me anxiety.
Tooth. It's just burning tooth.
Enamel. Burnt enamel. Wife had to get extra laughing gas last time she had it.
How do you get extra? That's what I need to tell them.
Were you cracking up?
If your insurance will cover it, they give you an extra squirt.
Were your lips curling?
Crank that thing up.
Yeah.
Well, I told you last time I had laughing gas, it made me. I had to have some teeth pulled to make room for my braces, and I get out of the car. Mom drove, and I'm barfing in the driveway because it made me nauseous. But I'm still on the laughing gas, so I was like cracking up. I was like, and I was like cracking myself up that I was puking. And Mom was yelling at me. She thought I was doing it on purpose or something.
Stop yelling.
So you got extra laughing gas because you weren't laughing. You were agitated.
Were you really agitated? Or did you know that the agitation would earn more laughing gas, so you feigned it?
Oh, you were playing the game.
Nice. I got to remember that. All right. Here, I got a couple more here. So in first grade, I got in trouble for talking too much. At one point, my teacher threatened to sew my lips shut and even had me come up to her desk where she pulled out a little sewing kit and made me pick what color thread I wanted her to use.
Yeah, that would go today.
And I'm 41 years old, and that is one of the very few things I remember from grade school. That's just a generational thing. I mean, my grandpa used to, anytime I was visiting my grandpa, he had a roll of duct tape beside him in his chair and would threaten to take my mouth shut.
Oh, my dad and my grandpa, they would always threaten us with a board with the big, long, rusty nails on it. Like they were like it was going to be an extreme wrestling event. And it was, you knew that there was no nails or board.
All right. When my dad was in elementary school, as a reward for being good, students were allowed to play with mercury with their bare hands.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because I'm being really serious when I say this. In organic chem, we had to use mercury thermometers on a certain day because of the temperatures. And we were flat out told, if you drop it and it breaks, we're to let them know they have to evacuate the whole building and have the hazmat crew come in. Like the thought of somebody putting that on their hands, oh my Lord.
Now this one, I want to protest a little, or I graduated in 1994. Remember, let me remind you of the topic of the title here. This is things that happened in school or where that would never happen today, or that kind of thing.
Right.
I graduated in 1994. Robin Hood was the play we did. There's this huge, crowded sword fight in the middle of the play that is supposed to represent the river scene from the story. Anyway, instead of plastic or wood or whatever, we got our hands on these huge, heavy as beep stage swords that sparked when they came into contact with one another. So there we are, 10 to 15, 16-year-olds with giant swords, swinging them wildly and smashing them together so they would spark a lot. Someone could have died.
Did they have to slide down a plastic slide before using them? Is that why they sparked?
They get their buttle shocked.
Yes.
No, here's what I would say. That does still happen today. My daughter was in a play just last summer that where they had real swords and they would spark when they hit each other. And the funny thing is, and I'm proud of this because if you've seen my daughter, she's not very big. She had to be given a plastic sword because she was hitting too hard with the real swords and being too aggressive.
She's a wiry one.
She's the only one in the play that had a non-real sword because she was being too aggressive and hitting too hard with it.
So her sword wouldn't spark.
Correct.
Everyone
Yes.
else's did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are they
But anyway.
Flint covered? What do we know what's on there? Is it like the stuff in like those fun pop things? They just
No, I
coat it?
think it's just whatever type of metal. I mean, they're real swords. They're metal swords. I mean, they clank and spark. Yeah.
Wow.
You'd have to ask. I mean, like
I'll look it up.
yeah, or the people that our friends, the Horics, are the ones that obviously they are fantastic in every sense of the word when it comes to local theater and everything related. And Jeff is he trains does all the fight scenes and things like that. So and he owns many swords and so he could probably tell you, but I assume it's just the metal. It's just a type of metal that there's nothing magic put on them. They're just metal swords that are clanking together.
Okay. When you said stage swords, I thought they were like prepped with something to make
Well,
them
I don't think they're
sparkier.
sharpened. I don't think they're not like sharpened and battle ready, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's about it. Let's see. Nothing there. This one says South Carolina used to let 18-year-old high school seniors drive school buses until about the early 90s.
S.J. Turner, report to the bus slide.
Oh
He'll
Lord.
be driving your.
Now I heard about things like that during like World War II or something. They let
Yeah.
students drive buses. But
How about, we've said this before, but I'll add one of my own to this. You will never see those towel dispensers. That was a cloth towel.
okay, what's worse, that or the public swimming pool?
Well,
The
those
public
towel
swimming
things
pool.
was like if you don't know what we're talking about, imagine a sumo wrestler that steps out of his sumo thong, and it's what's left over. It's like a drooping cloth that somebody and you wipe your hands on it along with the other 100 of people until the janitor comes and pulls it down and
Yeah,
recycles
well,
it.
we didn't know it back then, though. I don't think it really dawned on us until later that it was just recycling the same cloth. But I've told the story, and I won't mention any names, but of a particular teammate one time. He was a particularly long-legged
No. Oh,
teammate who thought it was funny to show that he was wiping his posterior on after conducting commerce on said cloth paper towel dispenser and never used another one. But at what point though whose idea was it? Who made the decision like, okay, it's time to crank that thing and get some fresh
That's what I'm
cloth out?
saying. That's like you would never know unless there was some kind of soiling remnant on it. There could be 100 people that just had been handling their nether regions and wiped it. There might not be anything like blood or just like hands. You know what I mean? That's still gross.
So why even have the contraption hanging on the wall that it goes? There's no secret cleaning agent in that contraption on the wall.
I'm going to tell you why, to hide the fact that it was just recycled cloth. And here's the thing: if it would have gone in and at least flipped it, and then when it came back out, you had the other side of the cloth, like the clean side of the towel, that would have been
just
better.
Soiling,
but yeah. But after I saw the person wipe with it, yeah. But you had to have pretty long legs because that thing sagged down. That thing sagged down. You had to have a low hanging butt and high legs to get yourself up there. And
low hanging butt.
I would have had to stand on my head to do it.
There's a Reddit thread on the cloth paper towel dispenser.
Oh, really?
We'll have to
I can only
visit that
imagine.
one.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm reading ahead in the comments, but
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
gotta
done. By the way,
Put the comments up here.
He's tapping
Uh,
out.
So my wife was traumatized in third grade because her teacher wouldn't let her use the restroom. Those evil teachers in Illinois.
Illinois.
Jim, when he's a freshman, he could buy pop out of a soda fountain at his Catholic high
That'd be
school.
sweet.
I thought we could do that.
No, we didn't have a fountain.
No.
Oh,
And
not a fountain. We had a
Yeah.
pop machine. You
Yeah,
know,
but you couldn't buy it during lunch.
I thought you could.
No, you can buy it till after 3:00 unless rules change between time we were there and when you were there.
I don't remember it really well, but I do remember we started school my freshman year. I go through the lunch line and I see they had like a little deep freeze, like a little small one, and inside they had like Crunch bars. They had the Snickers ice cream bars, and you could buy them.
Yeah.
And it went away and never saw it again. The next 3 years I was in high school. I don't know why.
Yeah, we could buy ice cream in high school.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go as far as says like that really upsets me because like okay, there is a soda machine in the teacher's lounge, but the one that's closest to my classroom on the top floor, they will shut it down at a certain point. All I wanted was a wild like one of those white cherry Gatorades, and they shut it down. And it's when I say they, it's not it's law. It's like the edict of the land. I call them the federales. It ticks me off.
Carrie says your teammate did you a favor by marking the towel for replacement. Celia, I think I remember my mom saying that those were put in because kids were stuffing towels in the toilet.
Makes sense.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
show
that
those
would-
kids. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
We'll show them by making them do disgusting things.
but you know, people toyed with those. Beside the guy that I mentioned, that I also remember people would like, jerk up. They were only supposed to hang down a couple feet, and next thing you know, you'd walk in, it'd be sagging down to the floor.
Guess you could tell how old the towel was. By how far it sagged.
Oh man.
Yes, Celia, I believe you're right. There were timers on the pop machines.
Yeah.
And Matt compliments Todd's hat. Safety dance. Leave friends
Dum
behind.
dum dum da da dum.
So I want to give apologies to my cohorts and the I was cutting in and out. You talk about a bizarre household accident that my youngest Panda, who is 8. So we have a sectional couch and we have a hardwood floor. Well, evidently she was walking from one cushion to the other on the couch to get into the corner, and it slid apart and she went into the crevice and cut her knee on the metal.
Ooh.
And her kneecap got to swelling up. I was like, holy cow, is it broke? But I think it's just a flesh wound, but it's unpleasant looking. That it's truly my child finding new and inventive ways to have accidents.
Well, at least we're not to the foot surgery portion of the accident.
No, yeah, her foot
Life.
does not look like an autopsy.
All right. Visit the website, look at the isms. Got a whole dictionary full of words, terms we use here on the show. If you don't know what the crap we're saying, go to the isms. You'll probably figure it out.
I did say unkept Jose at school because that's what they had in the isms. That's our play-by-earism for a sloppy Joe.
Yes.
It's an unkept Jose.
Now, did you have any fans of the show that knew what you were talking about?
I do have some fans of the show, I guess, but that they were not in the,
Did you have anyone say, Brady, it's actually unkept, Jose?
Exactly.
They did, because they were saying that unkempt wasn't a word.
Because it's not.
So
It is a word.
I know.
I'm kidding. But I tried to pay Kyle Brewer whenever it was Sloppy Joe Day at North Adams Elementary. He's like, dude, you got to say unkempt Jose just once for me, man.
On the announcements.
Yeah.
Hey,
Today
we
will
have
be
to add. We do have to add a new. Sorry, Brady. Go ahead. I didn't mean.
Oh,
to
no.
interrupt No, I was just going to say we had a new Cracker Barrel. We had something that needs to be added. We have to add to the up again it, but not in it. When I was talking about my egg yolks, that's the one food I don't mind touching other breakfast foods, and I like it up to it and through it. I like my egg yolk to get right up to it and through it. So it's been a while since we've added something, I think. So maybe we can add
in the sourdough.
Oh,
Gotta
So-
be the sourdough.
So that just needs to be put and kind of tacked onto the up again it, but not in
Yeah.
it as an exception.
yes.
Egg
And
yolks.
also, it depends because, like, that's why I will always keep my pancakes, waffles, and French toast on a separate plate because you can't have your egg yolk touching your pancakes.
That's a fact.
Yeah, not up
we
again
can't
it.
have that.
And
Nor
I-
in
Up
it.
to it.
And I followed up with the most daddest joke of all time because I said, then the yolk would be on you.
Wah, wah.
We new game tonight.
Yes,
Yeah.
race to stupid.
Yeah,
Who's
we're
gonna
all
win?
winners.
Who's going to win the race to stupid?
Regatta de El Stupido. I'm making that up, but it sounds good.
All right. Do you guys have writing utensils and writing materials?
I do.
I don't. I could put it on a document and show it.
What?
Fair enough. Fair
A
enough.
document.
Ooh.
Ew,
Matt.
Matt, voice of the Play It By Ear podcast intro, Mr. Matt Vaughn in the house.
Eggs on pancakes are awesome. Like runny eggs on pancakes?
Like, do you
Ooh.
purposely do it? Like, just you sit your
Do you mean to do that?
you sit your pancakes or your eggs atop your breakfast
That-
confectionaries?
Now I could go with like a McGriddle, like that's kind of an egg sandwich with a pancake, and it's not, but it's not a runny egg. No, there'd be no
True.
runny. And Matt says either way.
I don't like a McGriddle.
Sometimes. You don't like a McGriddle?
I love a
No.
McGriddle.
I didn't think I would, but I did. So,
Do you like the crap? What is it? The syrup infused sausage links?
No,
I do from time to time.
no, I don't want any of that.
Well, then how do you like a McGriddle? That's what it tastes
I
like.
don't know. I don't know.
Don't ask me to explain.
At least you're
myself, it just
admitting it.
is.
Yeah.
All right. So race to stupid. It's a trivia game, but you give two answers to each question. If you know the actual answer to the question, that gains you 1 point. You can also answer a second answer to each question, which is a stupid answer. The audience will decide. We have 8 audience members in the room, so be ready to vote, audience, because you get to decide which stupid answer to each question is the best. Now, personally, me and Brady were talking before Todd came on. I would lean toward funny but plausible as far as a stupid answer as being the best. Now, audience, you can decide whatever your criteria for that is. But White Castle breakfast sandwich with jellies on the side.
Now, White Castle does have some good breakfast. For a while, White Castle was my go-to breakfast sandwich when I was driving anywhere near them because I got so tired of having to have my breakfast sandwich on a biscuit or something like that. White Castle was the only place that had it on a type of bread
bun.
other than a biscuit or
Yeah,
a
true.
croissant,
Croissant.
which I might, you guys know the way I feel about breakfast sandwiches on biscuits. It's the greasiest sandwich you ever eat. I don't know why, but every fast food place, the biscuits are greasy.
And like we
Because
said
they
earlier,
absorb the grease.
But they'll be
Eating a-
even greasy on top, like
Well,
Where
that's true.
where you grip
Well,
it.
eating a breakfast biscuit sandwich, it's once again the scabies of breakfast is because it like gets on you and spreads and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but then you look down when you're done, and you got a half a biscuit piled up in your crotch because of the biscuit crumbs.
Brisket,
Crumbly.
brisket,
Crumbly.
brisket
right.
roll sounds delicious.
Can we do a practice one first? So I grasp it,
Sure.
or is that
Sure. Okay. While having a mental breakdown, what did Britney Spears attract, or excuse me, that should say attack. It's not spelled correctly. While having a mental breakdown, what did Britney Spears attack the paparazzi with?
So we give two answers.
You give two answers. If you know the actual answer to that question, that will get you 1 point.
Okay.
You also answer a second answer to the question, which is a stupid answer. So you have to decide, as far as your stupid answer, what you feel the audience would think is the better stupid answer, what criteria that is. I gave my criteria as an example, but the audience may use other criteria. So kind of up for grabs here. So again, while having a mental breakdown, what did Britney Spears attack the paparazzi with? Because the card says attacked, ATTACT.
Okay. So, all right, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
You got them both?
Yes.
Hold on. I forgot that I had to write this down. There we go. Ah.
Oh, do we have to write it big enough for you to see it, or do I just?
Well, no, I mean you can.
That's not big enough. Okay.
It's fine.
I wrote sloppy too, so I'm gonna rewrite it. I'm not happy with myself.
By the way, welcome Rebecca.
Welcome, Rebecca.
She's Googling the
Okay.
answer.
I got it.
All right. Brady,
See?
what did Britney Spears attack the paparazzi with? Real answer.
Shall I show it to you?
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. An
Oh, you can
umbrella.
An umbrella. Todd, is that what did you say?
I had umbrella as well, Bob.
Okay. Umbrella is correct. That is the actual answer. Brady, what's your stupid answer to the question?
Justin Timberlake's fro on a stick.
Todd.
That got some chuckles.
I went pretty similar. I put bull penis walking cane.
What?
A bull penis walk is similar to Justin Timberlake's fro.
Yeah. Well, Rebecca can Google it. It's a real thing. I didn't make that up. That's a real type of
Are you
cane.
saying what I'm thinking you're saying?
I'm saying exactly what you think I'm saying, but it's a
I
real
didn't know if
thing.
you were
Look it
trying
up.
to say ball peen.
No, bull penis cane. It's a type of cane.
I've heard that.
Well,
See, you got to look forward to it, old age Brady. You can-
All right. So each of them would get a point for getting the actual answer correct. So now the audience would have to decide which of the stupid answers is the better of the two stupid answers. So, audience.
It's a popularity contest. I lose to Brady every time, man. Everybody loves Brady.
that's a TV. It sounds like a TV show waiting to happen.
Everybody loves Brady.
All right.
So I don't know how long to give it. People may choose not to vote. Then I have to decide.
I gotta get off the. I gotta
Jim-
get off the comments though. We gotta get off the comments, Brady.
Yes,
See?
you got to get off the comments. You can't be looking.
Oh, okay. I'm
Jim
not
says
looking.
Brady.
Yeah, because he's never seen a bull penis walking cane before. Can you pull a picture of one up, Aric?
That's a positive.
I probably could.
Thank you, Aric. Yes.
Yes.
Be careful Googling this. You might want to put in the walking cane first, the walking cane part first before you put
Well,
it
no,
in.
I typed bull penis and canes came right up. I mean,
Nice.
it's like,
Nice, I think.
oh, here's one on eBay.
I like your excitement.
So,
Ooh, here's one on
so if you'd like to buy one,
Sounds like somebody get on Temu.
now it comes up with an error page.
Ah.
Yeah. Now you hear my disappointment.
Now, what I don't know is if it's actually made from what it says it is,
Well, that was my question. It's like,
or does it just resemble one?
I don't know.
oh, it helps you move.
So maybe it's an urban legend because I can't get any
No.
of these things to actually.
I got one right here. I got tons of pictures of them.
Well, throw it up there.
Well, I'm trying to find one
I
that
got
would be.
tons of.
I'm trying to find one that'd be big enough for everybody to see.
All right. Gary says Todd. Rebecca says Todd.
I think Todd won that one.
So I think Todd won that one. So Todd would end up with a grand total of 3 points. There you go. That's Now I'm about 6'3". I don't know.
I'd hate
how,
to see the bull.
how,
I'd hate
how
to see the bull
endowed
that
said bull would have to be for me to have a cane that would be
Gary's
usable.
Googling it. Here's the thing. You know everybody's going to Google it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jim worries about you, Todd.
Wait,
Thank you, Jim.
here's
I
the
need
deal, man.
I need somebody to, Jim.
I've seen these all the time. I didn't know
Yes,
that's
you
what they
didn't
were
know-
called. They were just
There's another
twisty
one.
canes.
Twisty canes.
That's pure bull penis, boys.
Kelly, welcome.
Kelly.
Looks small, she says.
Ugh.
It wasn't a life-size picture. It was just a. Here's what I gotta figure out though, real quick. I gotta look and see what it actually is.
There's only one thing you have to figure out with that.
Every walking cane comes in various decors, so is a bull penis cane. For example, a bull penis silver hame handle offers a casual walk with its sturdy build and silver ball silver ball handle. However, it cannot be cut to appropriate length like a wooden walking stick. The tourist handle walking cane made up of bull penis supports weights up to 200. It cut off on me.
So,
Naturally, hang on a minute. This is a. I'm going to educate you guys here. A
practical.
bull penis walking cane is a delightful gift from a professional taxidermist. They sterilize the bull penis and insert a durable metal rod into it without stretching the bull organ.
I'm getting lightheaded.
Naturally, a bull penis is 36 inches long.
Naturally.
Naturally.
So was that naturally used as that should have been common knowledge, or in
Okay,
nature they
listen,
are 36?
A licensed taxidermist is responsible for producing shimmering bull penis walking canes.
Shimmering.
Sounds like something you say when you strike oil. Well, shimmering bull penis. I struck oil.
It does sound like an exclamation of sorts.
There, I see Gary's doing the work for me.
Yeah. He says
Okay,
these walking
sorry.
canes
What
are
world do you need
constructed.
that? What's wrong with a piece of wood from a tree?
Oh, you haven't walked with a cane until you've walked with a bull penis cane. Yeah.
Okay. And you got to have it fully sterilized and prepared by a professional taxidermist.
Not
So
an
I
amateur
wonder-
one.
I wonder if every taxidermist can do that. Or is it a deal where like only certain ones deal in bull penis?
How does that conversation go on? Yes, I understand you're a professional taxidermist. I got a question for
Yeah.
you.
I'd like to see your evidence of your bull
Yes.
penis taxidermy license, please.
So I got this bull penis out in the back of the truck. You think you can make it into a cane for me?
Oh, Nelly.
All right, let's.
Do you think the bull lives out in his well like an organ donor card? It's like they're gonna make hamburger out of me, but when I go,
I bequeath my bull penis to
the farmer Ted,
for his walking cane.
I know he's got the rheumatism, got the gout.
The rheumatism and the gout.
Oh,
All right.
goodness.
So, gentlemen, each card has 4 questions on it. So we will play a card, 4 questions, and we'll see where we are score-wise at the end of these 4 questions. All right. All right. Okay.
Yep.
First question. Where on the human skin are you least sensitive? Where on the human skin are you least sensitive?
Does it mean like a body part, like an area?
I believe so.
Well, yeah, where skin appears on your body, where are you least sensitive? Basically, would be another way to ask that question. Oh, I can't wait to hear the stupid answers.
Can I go with bull penis again? For that? What was the one game where
I
get the
guess
same
you
answer,
can
like,
go with bull penis all you like. All right.
There's nothing else to hold me up.
like a Narwhal member or something. I got my answer.
Todd?
All right.
All right. Brady, what's your answer? Your real answer?
I say the real answer is the bottom of one's heel.
Okay.
A
Todd?
calloused heel.
I said the weenus. Now, let me see if I know what a weenus is first, but because the first thing I had written down is the elbow.
It's not on the bull.
Yeah, it's the elbow is what I had. So isn't the weenus near the elbow?
Yes.
It's the floppy skin.
It's the
there.
floppy.
Yeah.
It's your elbow scrotum.
I'm sticking with weenus.
All right. So the actual answer is the heel.
Yes.
Okay. So stupid answers, please. Brady.
Weenus.
Venus.
I put
No offense.
taint answering this question.
Todd Taint answering.
Todd Taint answering this question. Yes.
Taint answering the question. All right, audience. Which of the stupid answers is the best stupid
Not
answer?
much of a choice there, is it?
The weenus or Todd's
Or the
taint?
tisn't.
How
If
How
anybody's
fitting is it that
listening to us for the first time,
how fitting is it that my real answer was your silly answer?
I think that says a lot.
See, I can
about
pinch
you.
I can pinch this. I can.
you can stretch it.
It doesn't hurt. Like I feel if like weenus piercings were a thing, I feel like I could take one of those pretty easily. It doesn't hurt when you squeeze it and pinch it.
Well, does it hurt when you squeeze and pinch your heel?
No, but like I think if like stepping on things, like the way I feel like I can't walk barefoot on anything. I can't hardly walk on grass barefoot.
After a week of the I feel like I could drive a penny nail into my heel and it wouldn't even puncture it, like it's pure agate.
Jim says Todd for the win. Do we have any other votes? Anybody?
Thank you, Jim.
I think
Going
I
once.
think we've driven everybody else off.
Now there's still 7 people in here. They're
They're all
vote.
Googling bull penis canes right now and reading about them.
That's exactly what they're
Bovine
doing.
membrage.
I say, for time purposes, we give Todd the 2 points. Now it's 2-1, Todd. All right, gentlemen, what is a somnambulist?
Before we go on, Aric, I have 2 points because I got the previous answer,
Oh,
the
that's
umbrella
right.
question.
Yeah, you got the real answer. That's correct.
So
You
how many
both
you
got
get for the?
Well, wait a minute. You both got the real answer, though,
Yeah,
right?
I have 3.
Now, wait a minute. That first one, that was just
yeah, that was
just
true.
practice.
that was for fun.
practice.
Okay, I gotcha.
So 2-1. Don't question me.
That's right. He's Bob. He is Bob. Hear him roar.
Rawr. What is a somnambulist?
Can I have that in a spelling, please?
SOMNAMBULIST. Somnambulist.
Can I get that in a sentence?
No.
Okay.
Can I have the word of origin?
You somnambulist. Let's see. Somnambulist. Somnambulist.
Somnambulist. Somnambulist.
Somnambulist. Okay. Got it.
Oh, we had a couple late votes.
Ooh.
2 Brady votes.
They
Doesn't seem like-
snoozed and they snozzed and they lozed.
Snows and they lost. Snost and the Lost. I mean, I know we're at a little bit of a, there's a little bit of a lag from where we're talking and where people see us and hear us. Somnambulist.
I got it.
Okay.
Hang on,
Todd?
I'm not quite ready yet.
Ooh, yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom,
Chick,
boom,
chick,
boom,
chick,
boom,
chick.
boom, boom, boom.
We're not serious people once again.
No, we're not. Todd?
Hang on a second.
Hold on. Question is, what is a somnambulist? And we have people feverishly Googling the
I
answer.
got it.
All right. Got it.
Todd, what's your real answer?
Someone who doesn't believe in love.
Someone who doesn't believe in love.
I don't believe in love.
Because I'm a
Because I'm a
somnambulist.
somnambulist.
You son of a bitch.
Brady?
I say a sleep expert.
Ooh,
He didn't say
So-
a slumber analyst.
so close. A somnambulist is a sleepwalker.
Are you?
You do not get that point.
The prefix
I see.
some.
But I'll be honest with you. You should get that point because you knew it had to do something with sleep. I was thinking it was an emotion thing.
Well, he's a sleep specialist. not a
Yeah, I'm not
sleep-
going to fight it.
All right, Todd, what's your stupid answer?
My stupid somnambulist is a ventriloquist with no hands.
A ventriloquist with no hands. Okay. Brady?
I said the person that changes the cloth towel dispensers in the bathroom. I'm going to give this one to Todd myself.
All right. So our stupid answers are a ventriloquist with no hands and the person in charge of changing the cloth towels in the bathroom.
That would make using the dummy very difficult, wouldn't it? That is a trick.
Yeah.
So, so what do you use to manipulate the dummy's mouth?
Don't want to know. It's probably going to involve a bell penis.
Did you say bell penis?
Bell penis.
I flubbed that.
Is that like the?
Kelly says Todd. Jim says Todd.
I say Todd.
We've been getting around 3 votes on these, so I'm guessing that would do it. Todd
I'll take it.
leads.
So, can I ask you, Brady, how'd you know it had to do something with sleep?
Because an insomniac
Yes.
is some, and
An insomniac can't sleep.
yes, and then there is the sleep aid called Unisom.
Right.
Yeah. See, yeah.
So
I got you.
I
I
took a
got you.
flyer there.
You're playing with your affixes. That's well done.
Okay, so here's the other part of that word. Ambulist, an ambulance,
Okay.
ambulatory, meaning you're able to walk. Right.
Yep.
You guys
Yep.
and your affixes and your Greek roots.
Yeah. Who's the ELA teacher in this group?
I teach 4th grade, not like college.
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 You're doing nuclear chemistry and everything. My
Nuclear.
creative brain dried up.
Nuclear. All right. What is the most popular game app on Facebook? What is the most popular game app on Facebook? Todd ahead in our game. We're doing 4 questions. This is our third question. Todd is ahead 4-1. Reminder of our rules. We have 2 answers to each trivia question. The actual answer will gain our players 1 point. And the stupid answer that they give to the question by audience vote as to what is the best stupid answer will give the winning participant 2 points. So Todd has given 2 very good stupid answers. That's why he has 4 points. Brady has known the actual answer to 1 trivia question and has gotten a single point. So the question here is, what is the most popular game app on Facebook? Gary's comment, so the dummy's lips don't move either. That's genius.
I'd pay money to see that.
What is the most popular game app on Facebook?
Okay, I got my real answer.
All right, I got mine too. I got my fake one too.
All right,
As do
Brady.
This
Brady?
one you almost have to be a. Oh, sorry, Brady. Go ahead.
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. Todd.
Wordle.
Weirdo.
Wordle. Everybody. Come on, pretty ladies up on the net.
Oh, you super DJs.
The actual answer to the most popular game app on Facebook is Candy Crush. So now 4-2. Stupid answers, Brady.
Well,
The most
it
popular
is the
game app on
knockoff version of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm going with Klaus the Marmoset.
Klaus the Marmoset.
I like Brady's better.
Todd.
All
My
right.
lefty Klaus.
So mine almost. You almost have to be a fan of the show and know my pet peeves. Mine is and go. That's my game on Facebook.
I like
Yeah. So what is the object of the and go game app?
to piss me off. To act like you're
for deck builders and go.
Yeah, to act like you're so important that as soon as you say and go, everybody's just supposed to spew out all the things that you want them to spew out. Or
Little finger symbols.
my backup game was so I did a thing. That's my backup one. And literally all they did was got their hair done.
Hair did.
Yeah.
All right. So Brady, Klaus the Marmoset, the most popular game app on Facebook.
I feel a t-shirt coming.
Todd and go. Audience, what do you say? That kind of goes along with a comment I made today. We had one of our aides had had a Bluetooth speaker and was playing one of those line dance songs.
Did you fire them on the spot?
And she says, "Mr. Fiscus, you can come dance with us." I said, "I do not dance. First of all, I rarely dance. Second of all, I do not dance to music that gives me orders."
There you go. Don't tell me to put my left foot in and then take it back out.
No, I will not do that.
No, I will not get up and get busy.
I definitely will not do that.
Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with people asking for help on Facebook. I've done it myself.
I will not Charles Brown.
But don't tell me to go.
Well, not Charles.
I will not mash those potatoes. Those potatoes will remain unmashed as long as I am in the vicinity. Another pet peeve while we're waiting is oh crap, I lost it.
Crap.
I hate that game.
Crap.
So you got the and go.
Yes.
All right, I lost it. I have another one though. I have another one that makes me mad.
All right, we're not getting audience votes, so I guess it's up to me. Klaus the Marmoset wins.
Oh yes, Klaus
Yeah.
the Marmoset, definitely.
So all of a sudden
I'd
we're
say
tied.
Brady's been making the Klaus the Marmoset joke for 37 years, and it finally paid off for him. Well done,
He
Brady.
did.
Way to stick to it, man.
All right. So down to our last question on the card, and we're tied.
Perfect.
Okay, the Person family in the TV show This Is Us are fans of what NFL team?
Oh.
My sentiments exactly, Brady. My wife is a fan of the show. I guess Todd's a fan of the show, the way he's snickering.
It's gonna haunt me in my sleep, dude. It's gonna make me a somnambulist.
You'll be dreaming of an evil Snicker and bull penis canes.
Not in that order.
So say you do that better
okay.
than Margaret Hamilton.
Was Margaret Hamilton the one that did? She was the Wicked Witch.
Yes.
She wasn't the one in the Metallica song, was she? That did the little creepy. Da 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 da
Nah.
da 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 da.
No, she was long dead by then.
Okay.
All right. Person family in the TV show This Is Us are fans of what NFL team?
I forgot to put up.
Yeah, you
How
gotta,
can you be funny on it? If you got to pick an NFL team, there's nothing funny about.
Oh, there's plenty funny.
Not if you go.
So our score is 4-4. We're at the last question. This is for the marbles.
I got it. I think.
Hang on a minute. I'd forgotten I had to come up with a second one, so give me 1 second.
Is this our longest episode ever?
Maybe.
Could be.
All right.
Doesn't feel like it, but
All right. Todd.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Brady.
I said Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles.
Interesting. We were both in Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh. But the western part of Pennsylvania is correct. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
I knew it. I knew it. I
So,
knew it. I knew it. I knew
Todd takes a momentary lead, 5-4. Now we come up to the stupid answer. Todd.
it. The Cleveland Steamers.
I think
Can you give me the trophy, please?
Brady.
I got this.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
going to cinch up the game right here. My stupid answer is the Pittsburgh Steelers because we all know it's not a real team.
Well, that's going to get the votes. This comes down to Aric.
No, I'm voting for you, Todd, because that yours is funnier.
I think I may make an executive decision as well. I think Cleveland Steamers. Unless I'll give the audience a few seconds here. I colored their opinion on that. But audience, if you like to chime in on that, Cleveland Steamers or Pittsburgh Steelers for the stupid answer. Now, we all know the Pittsburgh Steelers are stupid. But as far as the gain and the spirit of the gain, are they stupid in that way? Not seeing. Oh, Celia, she's biased. Steamers. She said that with great excitement.
He's Lynn Bias.
Steamers.
Yes.
3 exclamation points.
She probably thinks that's a real sports team. Sorry, babe.
I think in basketball, weren't they wasn't there a team of Cleveland Steamers?
Were they?
It seems like it's like
Seems like there
coming.
was. Yeah.
Steve Perry. Steve Perry.
Should be gone. No Journey Psychouts.
Gosh, I want to watch that now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
How do you speak? How do you speak San Franciscanese?
All right. Well, we'll make the executive.
Hang on a minute. We
decision
have
then.
another
Well,
one.
we do have another vote. Cleveland Steamers. Katie Tippis. Welcome, Katie.
Welcome,
She goes
Katie.
with Cleveland Steamers as well. I think that'll do it. Todd wins 7-4. So with the Scrabule and the race to stupid, Todd wins the race to
He's
stupid.
sitting on a biscuit because he's on a roll.
All right. Good game, gentlemen. Good game.
Yes,
Good show.
yes, yes. Are we correct, Todd? I don't mean to. Todd, you're going to be out of town next week, aren't you?
I am, Bob.
Okay.
Okay.
So we might have to run a repeat next week.
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 weeks since Todd's
2
out of
weeks.
town. Yeah, we had
Katie has a little idea there. I like that, Katie.
Kay has a picture of the mascot.
Yes.
Cleveland Steamers.
It's not much difference. It's not much difference than the actual Cleveland NFL team.
That's
is
a
true.
fact. It's an emoji. It looks like it could either be a chocolate ice cream from the dairy bar or
Or a massage table.
The top of a cupcake.
top of a cupcake. Yes,
The north
All
end of a cupcake.
north end. All right. Anything else with good of the order, gentlemen?
I don't think so. Is this our longest episode
I believe
ever?
So
2 hours, 30 minutes, and 37 seconds. Those of you that stuck around,
Must be
Thank
ahead
you.
of me.
we were being verbose tonight.
yes, thank you guys for sticking around. Those of you listening at home or listening later, I guess, the recording.
If you had to break us into 2 parts, that's okay too.
Yep.
All right. The audio version comes out on Friday morning, anchor.fm, or actually it's a spot. I need to change that. Spotify Podcasts is our main site. You can get the video on Spotify as well. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, and most anywhere else you find your audio podcasts. Once again, video on Spotify as well as YouTube. We have a channel there. We have a channel on Twitch.
Twitch.
You can search Play It By Ear podcast on both. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams. You can find all those links on our website, playitbyearpodcast.com. Interact with us via email. That free t-shirt is still up for grabs, by the way.
Let's repeat that, Aric, if you don't mind.
I will. Email admin at playitbyearpodcast.com. You can leave a voice message. Click the link at your podcast audio provider. Leave us a voice message. We'll give you a t-shirt. Let's see who takes us up on that.
Free t-shirt. You can't beat that. T-shirts
Yeah,
are expensive these days.
They are. Softest t-shirt you ever buy or you ever be given.
It
You
makes
get
a
us the
good
voice message.
everyday wear type t-shirt. It
Yeah.
also, if you go a little bigger, it makes a good sleep shirt.
And
Right.
if it's on your host, it's very, very, very appealing.
Yes.
All right. Again, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So that would be what? June what?
Something.
June 7th.
Let's see. June.
June
Is that
7th.
June 7th?
I believe it's June
June
7th. All right. So join us then. Wednesday night, June 7th. We'll be back with the Play By Ear podcast, episode 133. Todd, take us out.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.